at least one person with me. That's more than enough. Dalton is enough. He's the equivalent of, I think, about 3 or 4 people.
What he means is that I do not shut up. is the long and the short of what he means there.
He does a lot of the talking for me. I don't have to do much.
You are correct, sir.
Oh, there was one other thing we could probably talk about, maybe, if we have the time. I'll probably talk about it, even if you have to, take off for whatever reason. But
Yep.
The summer anime season has started, although from what I've seen, it's kind of slim pickings right now. I really didn't see a whole lot that interested me.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on it, and nothing like really stood out. There are a couple things I found interesting, but
yeah. Well, I would say that the ones that stand out the most are the best ones, or at least the ones that people will be watching the most. But everything else is kind of swept under the rug and not really worth talking about. That's why because I checked it, I was like, oh, I should probably do a stream like I did last time where we talked about the spring season, and there was a fair amount of shows to talk about. Summer is kind of barren. But, I mean, I will take quality over quantity any day. Because, let's see, we got Dr. Stone. We have Fire Force. What else? Those are the 2 that stand out the most currently. There's also... What else was there?
Are they doing another season of Goblin Slayer?
Not currently. That might be a while down the road. I haven't gotten to see Dr. Stone yet, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I haven't gotten to watch the first episode. I know it came out, but I haven't gotten to watch it yet. Underworld Dream is here.
Hello.
Are you going to try the Gundam mobile game? Yes, and that was one of the things we're going to talk about. Thank you for reminding us. I have it queued up, but we'll talk about it. I do plan on playing it at some point. It doesn't have, it says it's coming out this summer, but it does not have an official date. Like, it's coming out this month, but let's see. We have August and September, and most of July is we're over the halfway point in July, so it's either going to be in August or September when it comes out. But that's pretty cool. And I didn't even queue up anything about the anime summer 2019 anime season. I should probably do that real quick.
Yeah. Most like professional YouTubers would have this shit sorted ahead of time, but not us folks.
I had it all set up, or for the most part, I had almost everything set up, ready to go, and then I'm like, oops, I missed some things.
Anything new regarding the Tifa controversy, or not really?
I don't care.
I was gonna say you've already done 3 different live streams
and 2 separate videos. One video got ratioed to hell because I dared to say that, the creator of the show said that she's the same character she was when he drew her way back when, just with more details, basically.
We could talk about the Witcher trailer that came out, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, I think I watched it. I'm not a fan of Witcher, so I don't really have much I could even add to that. But I mean, if you want to talk about it, you're free to chat about it.
No, it's fine. I just figured that would be sort of up your alley because it's game related and.
Yeah, I've never played the Witcher games. Actually,
I didn't until just recently when I heard they were doing an adaptation. I decided to look into the mythology and learn some things. And as per usual, it's the mythology of something that gets me into it more than anything.
For some reason, I can't get Discord to work. I tried to share the stream earlier on Discord, but it's not working. Hello, Eric. How you doing, man? Welcome to the stream where I catch up on all the news that has happened over the past several weeks. Instead of sitting down to make normal videos, I decide to stream instead, which is pretty much how I handle most news-based information. Because I'd rather do that than actually sit down, record a video, and then get nothing out of it, no engagement or interaction.
Yep.
But anyway, what can we start with? Oh yeah, we were gonna start with something in particular.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Hold on. Okay, you can go away. I need to screen share first, obviously.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. There's this tweet that we thought we'd start off with, for the lulz and the fun of it, because hey, who doesn't like a good fun meme?
Yeah. We're starting on the happy end of things because, as you'll see, it does not stay there for the whole stream.
Well, we actually everything is pretty well balanced. I think, like I mentioned to Dalton before we started, I think everything is like on a nice even playing field today. We've got sad news, we got something that pisses me off, and we have and good news. But we're gonna start with the goofy thing first, because it's like apparently, I'm not sure. I feel like a strange sense of deja vu. I think this has been in the news circulation before. I'm not sure. I could be mistaken, but this whole thing about this Latino artist who's quite literally using blackface. It's the only way to describe this. I don't know how else anyone could describe it. It's bad when white people do it, but apparently if you're Latin, if you're of Mexican descent, everything is fine. But oh my god, it's like I could be okay with like you changing the skin tones of fictional characters. I mean, they do it all the time in like video games and stuff, or not video games, but in TV, we've gotten that a lot. And sometimes, as long as you get the best, actor for the job, I don't care, one way or another. But when it's real people who actually existed, like Elvis Presley and Marilyn Monroe, I'm starting to go, no.
Wait a minute. She brown-faced Marilyn Monroe?
Yep.
Well.
Yep. And Elvis Presley, you could see it in the video if it's
Elvis is less bad because every $2 impersonator has done all kinds of versions of Elvis before. So
that's true.
At this point, there's nothing really left there to mock.
Well, I mean, I understand, like, Elvis impersonators, and different versions of Elvis impersonators is one thing. I'm talking about this is a visage of the actual real life person, not just someone pretending to be him. So
yeah,
that's what bothers me. And I don't know, it looks like, I don't know, maybe presidents too or something. I don't know. This is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen, and I don't understand it. And I just realized I have a message, so I'm going to stop sharing real quick, and I'm going to check the message. Oh, switch point is free. Uh-oh.
It's fine.
It's fine? You sure, man?
It's fine. We buried the hatchet a while ago.
Oh, that's great.
Over Avengers Endgame sucking of all things.
Okay, cool. I'll leave the hangout in there anyway. Anybody can join. I don't mind. I try to be friends with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's my lot in life. I try to be a peacekeeper among all other things, if I can.
And you wind up just being a lone wolf.
Or I end up pissing off some people. That also happens.
Yeah.
Actually, hold on. Maybe instead of sharing, let's check YouTube real quick, actually. Boss stream. The new controversy with Tifa: if you search YouTube for Final Fantasy, it doesn't autocomplete Tifa's name. Well, yeah, I heard about it. I don't know why YouTube or Google does that. per se. I don't know if it's for some ulterior motive or
because they don't want to feed my toxic fandom. Herp derp.
well, that could be it. But let's be completely honest. That toxic fandom is kind of a problem right now with that
Well,
game.
toxic people who are fans are a
Yeah,
problem.
yeah,
But
you're right. You're right.
fandom is not the problem. If anything, they're not. If anything, their problem is they're not enough of fans of the character.
Yeah. The problem is that there are just certain people who take things too far and make things a living hell for everybody else involved.
It
Hold on a
is one of
second.
the reasons why one of the phrases I keep on standby is, "This is why we can't have nice things."
Yeah, this is why. And I mean, I watched a video from someone who's a friend of my buddy Rabbit, who was talking about some of the stuff happening with oh, what was it? With the new Pokemon game, Sword and Shield. People have been so pissed off about the fact that there isn't a national Dex and other assorted things that they
Are you guys talking about Sword and Shield?
Yeah, for a little bit. It wasn't the main topic, but I'm going to talk about it now because we were mentioning. People were asking, "It's like, have you heard anything about the new Tifa controversy?" What, you mean the controversy that shouldn't exist? But
the one we've covered on like 3 separate streams.
Yeah, the biggest issue people have like people are complaining about the so some of the big issues I know of, like these are the big issues I know of for like the Pokemon thing are the national Dex, or I wouldn't say it's like not the national Dex, it's the fact that like they said they're not including all Pokemon from previous games. However, I partially doubt that because I think like updates will later include them. There's like people said animation looks like it's being recycled. I don't have enough indication. Like again, promo images versus what we actually get are different things. People are concerned about like the competitive scene. I can understand that concern. Again, like I don't want to take away people who have justified concerns with it. However, none of the concerns that have brought up are things that usually I care about when playing a Pokemon game. So it's more like along the lines when I play Pokemon, I'm gonna wait and see till it comes out because I don't pre-order games anyway.
yeah,
But I am excited for Sword and Shield on a different level because for me, I always make a new team every game that I play.
yeah,
And I try to make it a new adventure each time, and I try to kind of go through it and try to kind of like experience the world of the game that I'm playing rather than like, oh,
yeah.
I want to be nostalgic and like go through with my specific team. For the people who are like that, I again, I'm not being that guy who's like, oh yeah, you shouldn't be like that. No, by all means, you're more than entitled to have that opinion. I just that's not something that I think about when I play Pokemon though.
Yeah, for me, when I play Pokemon games, I like to try the new Pokemon too. It's like it's especially if the new generation is entirely new. Like my favorite in the franchise is the 5th generation. It's Black and White, and even
oh no, Arceus, be warned. I'm just joking.
I know. It's a controversial opinion, but it has like,
no, I like it too.
pretty much the best story out of any Pokemon game I've ever played. That's the reason why.
For me, the team makeup depends on whether or not any of the new ones are the types that I usually work with. Because I'm pretty loyal to certain types. Like I really like dark types. I really like ghost types. I really like psychic types. So if there's any new ones that are those, then I'll try the new ones. If not, then I'll probably stick with some iteration of a mix thereof.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to point out, I was playing through Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. There was actually a psychic named Juggler Dalton.
Wow. Dalton, I didn't know you were friends with people in Game Freak.
Right. He had I can't remember what his Pokemon were. I think he had like a Haunter, a Kadabra. Like he had like psychic and ghost type Pokemon. So
that makes sense.
So
Dalton was literally in the game.
They owe me like likeness rights or something.
At least right to your name. Although Dalton is a name that I would say it's the most common name, but it is a name that does exist, and there are several people who have it. They could all sue Game Freak now.
I've only actually met like 3 other people with my name in my entire life. That's really
That's true.
weird.
It's not a super common name. That's one thing. There are plenty of names out there that are not that common, but there are other people who have it.
But then again, also in like stories and games and stuff, you kind of want your characters to have unorthodox names.
Yeah.
So slightly more common probably in like stories and stuff.
Eric Breen says, makes sense. R. Dalton juggles all those big words.
Ouch.
Word size is relative.
But the thing with like, because when I played Black and White, initially when I first played through it, I didn't like it that much, especially because I didn't know the Pokemon at all. Because the entire first Black and White generation, they were all new. There was no crossover with any other generations until after the game ends. But I played through. Then I sold that copy, and then eventually I bought another copy and played through it again. I'm like, why did I end up hating this thing the first time? And I actually appreciate the fact that all the Pokemon are new, because at least in that way, I get to experience kind of the first generation all over again. Because it's like, you don't know these Pokemon, you don't know what they evolve into, you don't know their typings, which does add a layer of challenge when you play it through it the first time.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, like, when I played through Black and White initially, I'll be honest, it was one of the times when I had come back to the Pokemon, because I stopped at around, when I was younger, I stopped around like Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald around that time period personally. Mm-hmm. And then I took a bit of a break until I can't remember when I came back, but when I did come back, I went and played some of the other games I had not played before. And you know what, like, some of those games are really awesome. It's just like I had my reasons for taking my break. Obviously, like, schooling was a thing. I was getting older. I had a lot more responsibilities. I just didn't have time for a Pokemon game at the time. So I think a lot of people have that kind of thing happen to them.
Yeah, it happens. I dropped out. I think in Generation 4, I kind of dropped off. I did pick up 5, but then I dropped it again. And then X and Y came back. Or X and Y came out, and I bought a 3DS specifically to play that. And then I actually went back and bought things like Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I think I picked up Heart Gold. And then I picked up Pokemon White again, and then Black 2. And they're fun games. They're good games.
I never really stopped, but I also never really got obsessively into it in the first place. Like, Pokemon for me was always just one of those franchises that was just kind of there.
Yeah.
And when I could get to it, it was fine.
Yeah.
Then also fine.
I think that, and the controversy about the national decks, and this is what Westtown was pointing out in the video I watched earlier today, is that if it, like all the other generations, inevitably we're going to have all the Pokemon available in some form of a transfer system.
Exactly. I mean, I think
it's an inevitable thing, and people are getting so pissed off to the point where apparently they're accusing one of the creators that he's a rapist or something, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Okay, like, here's my thing with it. I'm not one to take away from the people who have legitimate concerns. I get it.
Yeah.
Like,
the game doesn't look the best. I'll admit that too.
Yeah, like, the game doesn't look the best. I have concerns. I like, for people who have their favorite Pokemon that would like to play with them. I completely sympathize with you in that regards.
I'd like to have my Scyther.
Having, like, being able to like, people who are in the competitive scene completely understand, but don't attack them. Please don't attack them. Don't don't do something that makes you look worse by comparison.
This is why we can't have nice things, basically.
Like, it's
So also the reason why I've been saying for weeks, no one deserves Final Fantasy VII Remake, not even me, who've wanted it for years. If people are going to behave the way they do, I would say, hey, Square, don't release it. Just cancel it.
I mean, like, honestly, like, here's my thing about it. I'm more of a person of I'm an advocate of free speech. Say what you want about it, by all means. But, like, if you have legitimate concerns, like, voice your legitimate concerns. That's fine. but just try to be respectful.
Yeah,
like honestly, like
if you can be respectful about your opinions on the situation, that's fine. The problem is that a lot of the situations people are going, they're going from 0 to 100. The respect is not there. The entitlement is certainly rearing its ugly head. And
It's
I'm
over 9,000.
yeah, pretty much. And I'm kind of getting a little pissed off about it. It's like it's one thing to voice complaints and concerns. I get that. It's another thing to be disrespectful, to attack the creators, to not listen to the creators and have some form of decency and respect for them. Because that's what happened with the Final Fantasy VII's director.
Mhm.
He did that interview about a month ago?
Yeah.
And everybody basically disrespects him because they're saying like, no, this isn't Tifa, blah blah blah, and this is because you're not fulfilling my fantasies. It's like, well, go somewhere else for that. It's like, you guys, and I actually this was kind of funny. I saw the play art figures that they showed off at San Diego Comic-Con for the characters, and when you look at everybody, they do not look like the original counterparts or their original versions.
I mean,
There
they
are so
updated the
many
designs to meet what they thought
Yeah,
would be current
I mean,
standards.
Barrett never wore glasses in the original.
No, he was just a Mr. T ripoff in the original.
Yeah, and in the new version, guess what? He wears sunglasses, even in dark rooms for some reason that doesn't make a lot of sense. But
because he went to the Morpheus from the Matrix school of dress and fashion.
yes,
So I got you. He's influential black man.
Yes,
he's gonna give us some wise words of wisdom.
yes.
Uh,
Like, you dumb fool. How pitiful.
Honestly, like Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm not sure if I'm excited for it or not, personally. Not that I have anything against Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like, for people who are excited for it, I'm hoping they have a good time with it. For me, I've always been more of a Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy IX's always been my favorite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, everybody has their favorites.
Yeah, and 7, I think 7 is just kind of like, personally, I think it's like overhyped.
Oh yeah, I actually agree with the overrated level because considering it's only my second favorite Final Fantasy game, my first one being Final Fantasy Tactics, I like that one infinitely better than I do 7.
Also,
especially with the story.
I don't understand the like universal hard-on everybody has for it.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand why, because like here's the thing, like it was the first one to do Final Fantasy in 3D.
And for some people, it was their first Final Fantasy game too. Yeah. For me, it was my second, not my first.
Well,
my first one was 8.
See, here's the thing: like, I can understand also why it's a lot of people's first, because like it came out on the PS1, right? It was considered a flagship title.
The PS1 for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. So it's a flagship title on the PS1. A lot of people, that's their first Final Fantasy, because back then, I mean, like here's the thing: like Super Nintendo, there was a lot of people play Final Fantasy 4 or Final Fantasy 4. It's still 4 here in America. Or Final Fantasy, who ended up playing like Final Fantasy 6, which is actually 2 here in America for whatever reason. Yay, weird numbering systems.
Indeed.
And when they played through those, it's like, okay, so for me, when it comes to like, I always choose like just eras of like which ones I find are my favorites. For Tactics, my favorite is of course the Tactics Advance game, just because of how fun the Tactics Advance and like how complex it changed things.
I actually ended up hating that one.
Really, I love the system.
I hate the judge system.
So the judge system, not so much, but I love that the back attack and the side attack is a thing now.
That was always a thing. It was a thing in the first one too. You did
back attack and back attack was, side attack wasn't.
Side attack was a thing too. It did more damage if the enemy doesn't have a shield.
Really?
If they have a shield, they have a possibility of blocking you from the side.
Okay, maybe, I don't know, because I thought the side attack and back attack was a thing only in Advance, or at least
the back attack. For 100% certainty, I can confirm the back attack was a thing, because if you got behind the enemy, you did more damage.
Fair enough.
Because they can't counter.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that if you attack from the side, sometimes the enemy would block if they were a knight or had a shield. of some kind. So yeah, I like I said, Tactics, spent a lot of hours playing it, probably too much. Funny thing is, never finished it, but I did play a lot of it for a very long time. I spent way too much time just trying to level up jobs and level up characters to get them to max level. And then once I started playing through the story again, I had like max levels, and I'm all like, this is a little too easy now, and now I kind of feel like I'm bored. Because I killed everything way too easily after a while. Because that was one of the fun things you could do in the original, is you could grind for levels and whatnot. Because the monsters in the in-between random battle encounters, they grow with your level. So every time you fight an enemy, they're stronger the next time you fight them again. And then if you did that consistently for several levels, by the time you reach into the story chapters, you're over leveled and you're stronger than everybody else. But also, one of my favorite things to do while doing leveling up and grinding to improve jobs was to turn everybody into frogs. Turn one enemy into a frog and turn most of my party into a frog and have them fight each other until the enemy died.
So you made the Kekistani edit?
Sure, let's go with that.
I don't know. So anyway, I think you invited me on to talk about KyoAni, or did you guys already talk about KyoAni?
We haven't talked about that yet. We could do that actually. Although
I
Underworld
didn't know
if
you were waiting for a specific topic to bring it up or not. Or
I'm going to talk about it eventually. It's an inevitability. I do want to respond to Underworld Dream. It's response about YouTube censoring Tifa. Believe YouTube does not want to draw attention to the Tifa boob controversy. Well, quite honestly, there isn't a controversy to be had to begin with. And the people who are trying to make it a controversy need to shut the hell up, please.
Yes, the non-controversy.
Yes, it's not. It's a controversy made from faux outrage that doesn't need to exist.
It's kind of like the Ariel Disney racial recast controversy. Like, I can't actually find anyone complaining about that. I can find a bunch of channels complaining about people complaining about that, but nobody actually appears to be complaining about it.
Yeah, the thing is, though,
most people are complaining about like other things entirely. They're not complaining that like Ariel's black. They're complaining that they're more complaining like of Disney just making live action remakes in general.
Yeah, because I'm sick of it.
Or in my case, they're more mad about Melissa McCarthy as Ursula than they are about anyone playing Ariel.
Yeah, and the people who
just pain.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, the only people who seem to be genuinely upset about the Tifa situation are people who have spent way too much time with their off-brand stuff and fan art and cosplays.
I mean, my complaints for it is like I'm not exactly looking forward to Final Fantasy VII remake. I don't know. I don't like the undershirt with the overshirt thing so much, but like that's not really a boob thing. That's just like a weird design choice I'm not really a fan of.
It does break up. It makes better color separation.
I mean, it works with the theme. I think it works with the theme. I guess they're trying to go with like this pseudo punkish type of thing. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just don't like it. That's a personal thing more than anything else, though.
Yeah, and everything is going to be a personal taste. It's like people are like, I like that they brought the original costume back for Dissidia. I'm like, fantastic. Mm-hmm. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. I hope you bought the game.
Yeah. For me, when it comes to the Ariel thing, I actually like it's not even Ariel. It's just I find it weird, this weird erasure of like of redheads in media. Like
I've kind of know I remember
ginger side.
Yeah, like it's honestly okay. It's really like weird and hard to ignore at this point. It's not even Ariel.
Will not replace us. Ginger will not replace us.
Yeah, I am noticing a very terrifying trend. Are you trying to do? Are you is Hollywood like subliminally trying to tell us something?
And I think it gets even weirder because then they were planning to like, okay, it's Disney's not even going full out with it. It's like, okay, so Ariel's black, right? And there's talks that like, what's his name? Some dude like playing Ariel's dad. Some
King Clayton.
Yeah, King Triton, but like there's some dude who's going to be playing him. Let me take a look, see who was King Triton live action. People were like, "Oh, let it be." Oh yeah, so Javier Bardem is going to be potentially playing Triton. Like that's what the reports are saying, right?
I don't actually mind that casting. That's good casting.
No, because here's the problem with it. So now you've given Ariel a white dad.
Is she adopted or is her mother black?
Well,
Like-
the mother was never visible in the original, so you could just as easily say like.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, like this is just one of those things. Like, dude, just go all out with it. Like, okay, I'm a Middle Eastern guy. I'm just gonna say fucking just, you know what I mean?
Commit to the bit.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do this, commit to the fucking bit.
Yes.
Like, dude, get like Tyler Perry to play like fucking Triton, or get like, or get Terry Crews or something. I don't know. Like fucking Christ.
You know what else? If we're deciding that because the Atlanteans are like from around the Caribbean, they should be black. Why don't you have like Queen Latifah play Ursula? Because she actually did a really good Ursula cosplay, and she's a singer, so she can definitely belt out Poor Unfortunate Souls when it gets to be time. Instead of Melissa McCarthy.
Like if they were committing to the bit, I think I'd be more accepting of this than ever before. Like more accepting of this. It's just kind of like, yeah, we'll do this, and then we'll kind of just stop here.
To be quite honest, I mentioned this on England Teen's video when he talked about it. It's like I quite honestly do not care about any of the live action remakes because I would rather just watch the animated film.
Oh, I'd rather. I know. Trust me. Like I don't like the live action ones at all. Like watch like one or two, and they're all terrible. Like the ones, and I've seen like little bits and pieces of other ones. They're all terrible from what I've seen.
Yeah.
But
and nobody asked for it.
Yeah, no one asked for it. Like there's no passion in these things at all. It's not like, oh, let's do a live action. Like this is not like Maleficent where let's explore Maleficent from Maleficent's point of view. Yeah, Maleficent wasn't a great movie, but at least it tried to do something different. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
I was okay with that. If you're gonna do something with them, try and take it from a different angle, or maybe prequel something. I don't know, or make it entirely new and not connected to the already original ones that you've already made.
Mm-hmm.
Take it in a different direction. I would appreciate that.
But the problem, of course, is when they take it in a different direction, they fuck it up horribly. Whereas when they try to just shot for shot remake it, it's at least tolerable. Like for example, Aladdin tried to change a bunch of shit, and Aladdin was gobshite.
No, Aladdin tried to change a bunch. Literally, Aladdin is shot for shot the same movie. That's what makes Aladdin terrible. Like, there's no passion in it whatsoever. It's literally shot like, except for like a few small little things that they changed, like giving Genie a girlfriend, giving like Jasmine like a special song of her own that is really like that literally like does not even fit the tone of the movie whatsoever.
God, the feminism thing was terrible.
Like everything else was like shot for shot the same, and because of that, it makes it like I honestly. So the changes that show up are very jarring because it's like, why are these changes here now? Because now it's like you've done shot for shot the same movie, except for like
so you have to justify your changes that you do make.
Yeah, and even then, like the shot for shot stuff just doesn't even feel unique or like you're trying anything new. It just feels very hollow and like, all right, like it's can I copy your like it's literally the epitome of can I copy your homework. And, but like
it would help if they didn't have to auto-tune rapping Genie, but that's
here's the thing, like I find that really awkward because Will Smith can sing.
Yeah, he can.
So
done it for years.
Like I was listening to his like songs from the Genie, and like the Prince Ali song is terrible, right?
Oh my god, I hated it.
Like his Friend Like Me song, You've Never Had a Friend Like Me, that was fine.
Okay.
Huh?
It was okay.
Like, well, I mean, like if you would showcase that song as like your opener song, like for the marketing material, I think you would have had more people behind it instead of Prince Ali, because Prince Ali just felt very hollow and cheap. At least Friend Like Me, I felt like Will Smith was given a chance to like do it his own way. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Give him a little bit more freedom to try and make it his own.
And so I'm like, well, if you're going to showcase a song, showcase this one then, because at least this way you're showcasing like somewhat of Will Smith's vocal range.
Yeah.
and like the Prince Ali song, while the biggest song in the movie, is clearly too muddled in executive stuff to like even make it feel fresh or unique. And you have Will Smith then coming up saying like, I can never compete with Robin Williams to try to apologize for it. Like,
well, we weren't expecting you to compete with him. We expected you to put some goddamn energy into it.
But
you were never going to replace Robin.
No, but here's the thing.
One of those, if you know what the problem is, then why did you agree to do it in the first place?
I mean, he agrees to do it because it's a paycheck, but at the same time, it's. I also believe it is mostly director and producer meddling more than anything else. Like,
I could see that, especially if they're using auto-tune on someone who's already a talented singer. Yeah, that's definitely corporate meddling. That's not
I think it's more Disney's fault than it is Guy Ritchie's fault, because Guy Ritchie is the king of stylization. Like, even in his crappier movies like the King Arthur one he did a couple years ago, it's heavily stylized. And you would think if anyone can do a Bollywood-style Aladdin movie, which is very clearly what they were at least trying to go for, it would be someone like Guy Ritchie who bleeds, stylization into everything he does. But look at the Prince Ali scene. There's absolutely no Guy Ritchieism in there whatsoever. The most Guy Ritchieism you get in the new Aladdin is the part at the very, very beginning when Aladdin's doing like parkour. That's Guy Ritchie-esque.
People in the comments. Dalton, Eric has a question. Brainstormer sent him a Hangout link yesterday. Was there a stream that he wasn't aware of? Or were you guys just having it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just checking. I don't know if he's just trying to troll and mess with you. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Underworld Dream. Have you heard of the game Catherine and the Internal Cultural View Committee that reviews anything that makes sure it's suitable for a Western audience? Here's the thing. I'm gonna take this forefront. The Japanese, in particular, they don't have a whole lot of respect for the Western audiences, and this has been a thing for decades. Like the censorship that people complain about nowadays. The only reason why we know anything about the level of censorship that we have nowadays is because the internet is a thing and people do more research and they look into it. They play the original versions or they ROM some of the original games, things like that. But
I think people are justifiable in their anger though that the game is being changed, especially since this is being done outside of the view of the director of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If it wasn't the director's vision, then I have a problem with it. There's no questioning that. It's a different thing. Like with the Final Fantasy VII Remake situation, people are upset because there's an ethics committee. And it's like, it's probably been there for decades, guys. It's existed because they have to follow the rules of the ESRB. If they don't, much like I mentioned in my last video discussing it, the governments would have to get involved. And do you really want the governments to control your video games? The answer is no. So be happy that you get that you don't have to deal with that. I will take an ethics committee in Square Enix's office over the government telling me what the game can and cannot be. I will take that any day of the week. You're going to be you may sacrifice some things, but at least you'll get to keep some form of artistic integrity.
It's the lesser of two evils thing. It's either minor artistic oversight or getting straight up memory hold and black bagged.
I mean, like, here's the thing, right? And Sony has a weird thing where Sony's going against the ESRB. It's doing like it has its own internal censorship.
ESRB, basically they've internalized their own ESRB.
Like there's like a Sony version of it, where it's like certain games are like more censored on Sony consoles than they are like anywhere else.
Yeah. I'm aware of it.
Yeah, like it's really stupid. I'm like, Sony, why are you wasting money on this bullshit?
I don't know.
And
it's bleeding enough money as it is.
Yeah, like it's really stupid, especially because here's the thing. Directors are now really, really pissed to the point where they will literally make fun of Sony inadvertently in their ads now. Like There's a game that came up both on Switch and Sony. I can't remember the name of it right now, but in it, the director said, "Oh, but like there's a part. Well, what if I want to play in front of my family? Because like there's like there's sexual suggestive themes in the game. Because I think there's a dating sim feature of the game, and he said." Oh, don't worry, we have you covered. You can play the Sony version.
Yeah.
I'm like, you. That's if that wasn't a stab, you're literally telling everyone just to buy the Switch version of the game, aren't you? Pretty much.
Self-awareness for the win, maybe.
Yeah. With the Catherine situation, I kind of view it. Well, maybe it's not the exact same thing with like what happened to Fire Emblem Fates, but it is kind of similar where it's the Western group interfering with how the game is. Well, with a lot of the elements of the game itself.
Well, I know one of the things is there's a big hate for like the term trap, or trap-like characters. One of the main love interests in the Catherine remake is a trap character that you can go after. So it's gay. It's technically a gay option, and they don't like it because it's like, no, trap is offensive to trans. I'm like, no, it isn't. It's a different thing entirely. And you're conflating something else entirely to this. And this is a problem because Japan recognizes trap. It's not considered a slur or anything in Japan. It's there's a reason the term is that the person that's a guy is trapping a guy into either recognizing that they're either gay or or making the guy realize that, oh no, you're actually like, I'm actually a guy.
Japan is fairly clear on its position as to whether or not traps are gay, and the answer is yes.
And like it's one of those things where like it's one of those things where you it's not even like it's not even a slur. It's where we're calling it a slur without even recognizing what a slur actually is. And it's just it's disturbing because it's also ruining the vision of what the original intention behind it was for the director.
I remember watching Alpaben's video on the situation with Catherine, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is messed up and pretty bad. And the fan, you see, in an instance like this, I understand the reason why a lot of people are pissed off. This I understand.
Yeah.
Because this is actually something that's based in the story, it's based on the characters, and should not be tampered or messed with in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I mean, on the plus side, there is a PC version, I think, coming for the game as well. It's not like it's if it's anything like the original Catherine, it shouldn't be too graphically intensive. And I don't know if a Switch version is coming. Maybe. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Honestly, like, if you know there's another version of it and you want to support these directors and you want to support them properly, buy the other version. Like let your wallet speak. Even if there's like an English Asia version that you know is uncensored versus the US market version, like
go for it.
Yeah, go for that. Like
go to Play Asia and buy that shit.
Yeah, like don't support this level of censorship because the directors don't like it, and I think there's a lot of directors who are really happy with US fans who are very vocal about this. So don't be surprised. Like, don't be like, oh well, the Japanese market doesn't care about the US market. No, they hate how the US market is, and they've noticed like fans like ourselves who've been speaking up and trying to make sure that their vision is coming through properly.
I remember. Oh, what was it? I think when like the last Dead or Alive volleyball game wasn't coming out. I think it was DOA Dead or Alive Volleyball 3. Was it?
The Volleyball Extreme 3 or whatever they called it.
Yeah. And basically, Team Ninja and everybody said that they weren't going to be releasing it stateside this time around because just the environment of the Western gaming market. It's a mess. It can be toxic. I don't like using that term very loosely, but it is fairly accurate, unfortunately.
Translation: SJWs get triggered by sexy people.
Yeah, pretty much. And then Play Asia came in, and it's like, well, don't worry, guys, you can buy it on our website.
Yeah, and the people who are going to say, oh, it's just we're just, don't worry, it's not a big deal. It's just changing some small things in your game. And like it's not like it's changing the overall game. It's like here's the thing, like no, that's still the director's original vision. As much as like sure that small thing might not change too much of the story. You know what? That's fine. But here's the thing, you're still infecting that person's. It's like if I went up to the Mona Lisa and I erased the smile. So well, I mean, still the Mona Lisa.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway.
Except at that point, you would have the angriest of angry mobs gunning for you.
But at least you wonder why they have angry mobs. Like, you wonder why they have angry mobs coming after them, and this is the reason why. Like, you have angry mobs coming after you because you're changing something that fundamentally doesn't need to be changed.
Oh, Mr. E is here. Hey, man.
Hey guys.
How you doing, man?
Pretty fun. Just had an emotional breakthrough, so that's a thing.
Okay. Yeah. An emotional breakthrough. Sounds complicated.
Yeah, it involves families.
Yeah, that normally is complicated.
You're not up for a stream, dude.
Yeah, we are live, so you can share it.
I'm not giving any details, so I don't really care.
Right.
But so I know that you posted that you wanted to talk about what happened in Kyoto.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Kyoto animation situation actually right now, because we've been talking about a bunch of other stuff. We've been talking about things like censorship and other assorted topics. But right now, yeah, let's go over what happened to Kyoto Animation. I don't know everything, because I guess some of the information is still kind of.
So here's what I know. Okay, and I don't know, maybe the article covers this or not, but this is what I do know at least.
I probably won't cover the whole article. I was just using it as a
drop-off point. That's fine. So here's what I know. There was an arsonist who indicated that he felt cheated by Kyoto Animation. I think he worked for the company at one point, or he felt like his art was stolen or something of that nature. We don't have the full details on that regards. And he went in and he started a fire in Kyoto Animation. Confirmed 33 dead and potentially more injured.
According to the Guardian, it says that 34 people are dead.
Okay, so that number's gone up.
Maybe someone who was injured in the fire passed while they were at the hospital or something.
Possibly. There was so here's something to let you know like how grievous this is. That was a place where 70 people worked. So that's about half of your workforce.
Yeah.
In one go.
My gosh. That is very.
And I looked at some of their works. They make great stuff there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they worked on Haruhi Suzumiya. They worked on
Full Metal Panic. I saw.
Yeah, Full Metal Panic. That's one of my favorite animes. They worked on the Dragon Maid series. They worked on. Lucky Star.
Lucky Star and Full Metal were the ones that. Oh wait, and also the Clan Ad series too. Those were all familiar ones to me that
They worked on a lot of different series. And the list goes on. Like there's tons more they worked on.
Oh yeah, normal case for most Japanese animation studios. They have a large list on them.
The one of the victims, sadly, is the guy who actually created Dragon Maid.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I don't know if we'll be seeing a season 2 now because of that.
I've never watched it, but now I feel like I have to, out of respect.
Yeah. And the thing is he wanted to make season 2.
Yeah.
Well, now that makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. This will probably, like for any of their productions or any future plans for their productions, are probably going to be delayed significantly for a very long time.
They might not even do them at all out of respect.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. Like the only thing I can think of them potentially working on is stuff that might have already been like storyboarded and finished, if they even still have it.
Yeah, if they kept some of the stuff digitally and on some sort of cloud.
I don't imagine them even working again for a while. I mean, how bad was the fire? Besides the human life loss, how bad was the fire? You can
see the smoke damage on the outside of the building.
The studio is destroyed. Pretty much. There's you could probably maybe it sounds like the president of Kyoto Animation sounds like what he wants to do is tear down the building and put a memorial in its place and maybe probably move them to a new studio probably.
I don't blame him for wanting to do that. Very tragic incident. Wanting to move forward from it is probably the best course of action at this time.
Yeah. At least that was an article that I saw pop up. I think it was from comicbook.com. But
now I want to say thank you to the community, to the fans that are out there.
Yeah.
Because the Sentai Filmworks, a dubbing company, and an amazing dubbing company, I highly recommend supporting them because they're actually one of the best ones out there. Opened up a GoFundMe.
Yep.
Called Help Kyo Annie Heal. Yep. I see you have it up now.
Yep.
And like the donations that came in like as quickly as they did.
Yeah.
Like, this is,
if I had any money to give, I would absolutely
like,
this is horrible.
Getting to over 1.5 million and as fast as we got. Like, you guys are fucking amazing. Like, the people that did that, I fucking appreciate it. Like, thank you.
Yeah. That's a very kind gesture. They're at 1,007,000 at this point.
Almost 1.8.
Yep, almost at 1.8.
And
I'm glad that the community actually, for once, instead of bickering or fighting or nonsense of this nature, this is the type of stuff I like to see.
Oh, this is far more important than any petty fandom bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, and you know what? This money will help those, help those victims. It'll help the families, the people lost, and it'll make things hopefully easier for them. This is the best we can do. And even if you can't donate, if you can get the word out there that this is there, that people can donate and help, that's all that matters. Trying to at least get that word out there, trying to help these people in any way we can.
Yeah.
About the piece of shit that did this, did he intend to kill those people?
Yes.
That was his intention. I
didn't know if he wanted to kill them or just like damage the studio and they died by accident.
He was a very angry, disgruntled ex-employee from what we understand of the situation.
At this point, he feels like he was cheated by the company or something. Here's the thing.
Like you sue, you don't.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like in Japan, working conditions are hard. I get this.
I know that. I've heard a lot of horror stories. I mean, I know people who work in Japan, but even so, like I don't care how disgruntled you are. Taking of human life is above the pale under any circumstances.
Well, I agree with you. In this case scenario, I think what it is I think this guy let his anger take the best of him. He's in custody. He's been he's been caught. He's in custody with the police at this point. They found him.
He will be, considering the Japanese justice system, he's not getting out.
He's probably not.
I'm assuming they don't have the death penalty in Japan.
I'm not sure. I wasn't aware if they did or not, but
they do have the death penalty. I don't know if this is severe enough for that or not. That's up to the
33 deaths isn't severe enough.
I don't know I don't know their law system. I'm not going to make a suggestion on that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to make any suggestions. But
the only thing I know about their legal justice system is that if they find you, if they start to prosecute you, more than likely you are not going to be set free.
Yeah, like this guy's probably not going to see the light of day anytime soon.
He will never see the light of day after this. This type of crime is not something they tolerate.
Not to mention, I want to give also props to Japan. They did not glorify him at all.
Oh,
They just said.
Yeah, they didn't show a name or anything.
They said, this happened. This person has been captured. He is in custody. But that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
Please help Kyoto Animation as much as you can. And
God, I wish America did that.
Yep. To let everybody know who is in the stream who may want to help, there is a link in the description down below to the GoFundMe if you want to help them. Mm-hmm. I will probably be donating some money, probably my next paycheck. I can't do that.
I donated some myself. I put forward a little bit.
How long is the GoFundMe going to be up?
It's going to be. I think it's going to be up for about a month.
It doesn't sound. It doesn't seem like it has a. I don't see anything that says when it'll end.
I start a new job on Monday, so whenever I get my first paycheck, I'm definitely going to kick it a couple.
And the animation studio is actually, the reputation is actually really good of this animation studio. Actually considered one of the better working conditions in Japan.
Yeah, I saw a video of them where they were doing I think it was like mood improvement exercises.
Yeah, they actually had things to try to make work life much better. Like they were taking like notes from Nintendo and stuff like that, and take the time you need, try to get the project out as well as it can be, rather than rather than rushing yourself type of thing. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And yes, it was very dominated.
Yeah.
BioWare took that
Yeah.
kind of advice.
Yeah, there's a lot of studios that could take that advice and use it.
Yeah, and yes, yes, they did have a lot of females in the workforce at Kyoto Animation because, but like again, for the people that were bringing up these articles like the other day, we're saying, oh well, trying to like say that this tragedy is worse because this is a female workforce area. Fuck you for doing that. Like this is a tragedy. Yeah, this is a tragedy overall. Don't try to like bring your political agenda into this.
Yeah,
34 people lost their lives. That is what is important, not whatever kind of political thing you're trying to add on to this. Think about the victims and their families.
Yeah.
This goes just about for every tragedy and everyone who talks about every tragedy.
Yeah.
See if you can criticize a tragedy or comment on a tragedy without buttressing it with the women's. It only matters because of the women's thing. It's just bullshit.
Yeah.
Like that pissed me off. Like when I saw CNN do that yesterday, and I was like, Jesus Christ, CNN, shut the fuck up.
Well, it's kind of like, and I've actually noticed this in news stories before, where like if it's a tragedy that affects all women, it's framed as worse than if it's men and women both who die.
Yeah.
And if it's just men who die, it's just people who die. But if any amount of women die, it's this percentage of women and also some men. So it's just like everyone has this like gynocentric approach of the women's first, and it's just like, guys, is the loss of human life not enough for you here? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I want to say, like, Kyoto Animation, amazing work. Like, that they had some amazing ladies that worked for the company, and I appreciate what they did. Like, some of them actually, like some of them are heads that worked on some amazing stuff that I love from that company. Lucky Star was made by a female, and like a lot of stuff like that. But like, again, I appreciate it, but that's not the issue here. The issue is there was a loss of life, and there was an arsonist who did something he shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
I really didn't get that at all. Like, anime fans, from what I understand, don't really care if the person who makes something is a man or a woman, as long as it's good. Like, one of my favorite production companies, they've made a lot of stuff that I like, is Clamp, which is an all-female company.
Yep, all-female team. And they've made one of my favorite mech shows ever called Code Geass. So
yes, freaking love Code Geass. And
the person who made Inuyasha, Ria.
I can't. She's got so much under her belt. It's ridiculous.
Almost everything she makes is like a.
She's got a new one.
Yeah. Full Metal Alchemist was created by a female.
Blue Exorcist, Blue Exorcist, made by Kazue Kato. One of my favorite mangas, and it's a really good anime. She's a woman.
Yeah.
Rumiko Takahashi is who I was thinking of. Like, here's the thing, and like you think that Japan hates on females. Rumiko Takahashi, everything that she has made has almost always been a throw it out of the park hit. She made Lum. She made Ranma Half. She made Inuyasha.
She made Ranma Half?
Yes. Mm-hmm. She made Rumiko Takahashi also made The Mermaid's Tales, the Mermaid's Tale series. She made like every single one of those that I mentioned were literally almost instant hits.
This woman is the goat.
Hello, Maranya. How you doing?
Okay. She made Maison Ikako.
I don't know a single male mangaka with a resume that stacked.
Like, she's like literally, Rumiko Takahashi comes in to work for you and she says she has an idea for a story. You like, yes, my queen, come on in.
You start throwing like rose petals in her path.
Yeah, you have to roll out the red carpet.
Almost every single one of your series has been an A+ hit. Yeah, okay, no, come on in. Tell us what you want to write.
You bow with your head all the way to the floor.
Yeah, pretty much. You probably hit pavement and leave an indentation.
Like, that's how well her stuff is. Like, With Inuyasha and Ranma half alone, and then you bring in Lum, and then you bring in Maison Ikako, and then the Mermaid Tales, and then all that kind of stuff. You're like, how did you do all this? How?
Yeah, the only other person I could think of with as good a resume of that is for manga art creator. I don't know.
Shotaro Shinomori?
I can't remember what that person worked on.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that made Kamen Rider Super Sentai, Cyborg 009.
Oh, I was thinking more or less just a manga creator.
Yeah. I mean,
I was thinking maybe Akira Toriyama.
Akira Toriyama's pretty high up there.
He's got a pretty big resume of his own. Not all of it is manga.
He has Dragon Quest. He has Slug. He has a
Dragon Ball franchise.
Yeah.
He has he has the Sand. What was it called? Sandland. Like he has a good one too. Who else has a really good one? The creator of Go Nagai has a really good one too.
Oh yeah, Go Nagai. This is freaking massive.
Isn't the guy make Devilman?
Yep.
He made Devilman Crybaby. He made Cutie Honey. You can thank Go Nagai for pretty much the Bishoujo genre.
He also made Mazinger.
Yeah, he made Mazinger Z. He honestly, you can thank Go Nagai for anything that's like pretty much where Sentai is now, where action anime is now, where horror anime is now, and where like Bishoujo and Bishonen and all that kind of stuff. You can thank Go Nagai because he was kind of like he was one of the guys who kind of created a lot of the tropes that are used today. Cutie Honey was like really the reason Sailor Moon became as popular as it ever did.
Yeah, who made Astro Boy?
It was I think it was Go Nagai's mentor who made Astro Boy actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, trained Go Nagai.
Underworld Dream saying Japan conviction rate is 99%. Death penalty is for multi-murders. Some murder like torture or kidnap for ransom. Execution done by hanging.
Well, I think 33 deaths would qualify.
Yeah, I would pretty much guarantee a death penalty. I think.
Yeah, so hang the motherfucker.
I mean, if it happens, it happens. Again, like I just don't want to make any. I don't want to make any legal claims. Again, we're not legal without any.
Even
not lawyers.
Yeah, we're not lawyers, and I'm fairly positive Underworld Dream probably is not a lawyer, but at least that's probably what he may have found through Google, or I don't know. Maybe he is a lawyer. Maybe he is. You're going
to be joining the ranks of internet lawyers there, Underworld Dream.
But regardless, more than likely, if Japan's conviction rate is really high, from what I've heard, yeah, there's a strong chance. Mm-hmm. This guy's not going to get out of this. Doesn't matter what his defense probably come up with. He's going to jail, and he's going to be there for a long time. Don't know if they'll kill him.
I was thinking of like rewatching Lucky Star because of this.
I'm going to check out Dragon Maid after this.
I actually could.
Dragon Maid's a great series. I love Dragon Maid.
I've watched some of it. And hey, Dalton, you remember that one anime we talked about, Free? That's also what they worked on too.
Is that the B Shonen swimming?
Yeah. I showed that to Dalton the last time when we did an anime based. We were doing, I think it was the summer or spring 2019 season. We were talking about that, and I mentioned that to him.
Yeah, it was the spring one. I remember us talking about.
You were asking for shows with or we were talking about sports anime for a while, if I remember correctly, and then
I ended up asking for shows with hot guys in them because.
Yeah, and then we went through a lot of different shows.
Yes. I mean, I was also I want to point out one of my favorite endings from Lucky Star is the Lucky Star ending where they go to karaoke.
Yeah.
The creator wanted to show her love for Dragon Ball.
Uh-huh.
So when they go for karaoke, one of the characters brings up and her name is Haruna. Haruna Chan is the character. She's like the anime fan who likes like watching anime and who likes. Yeah, like who
she makes plenty of anime references throughout the show.
Yeah, and so she brings on and she puts out Shala He Shala.
I love that song.
The original theme song for Dragon Ball in Japan. I should say.
I think that was Z, specifically Z.
Yeah, it was for Z. And so she sings sings the tail part. And it was the actual actress who plays Kono-chan who was singing it. And what makes it even better was as she's singing it, the funny thing is she's an actual singer, so she can actually sing very well. But as she's singing it as if she's the character Kono-chan. So you can find a full 5-minute version of it, which is like the full song, and it just gets slowly and slowly worse and more hoarse.
It's a good singer intentionally singing badly as the anime character.
Yeah,
Yep.
and so it goes to the point where she even gets to the end of it, and she's like,
I think I remembered watching that particular part. It's been a while since I watched Lucky Star, but I remember.
I have to look up this particular video.
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
I remember what I don't remember watching the original Clannad, but I did watch After Story. My God, I have never cried so much in my entire life, unless it was something that was actually personal. But dear God, talk about beating you when you're down. If you're someone who wants a good cry, or you think that you're emotionally stable, well, not stable, but emotionally manly enough to you're one of those people who says I don't cry, go watch that. Go watch Clannad After Story, and then come back and tell me if you didn't cry, because I don't know anybody who wouldn't at some point.
I cried during Fullmetal Alchemist.
Huh?
But I cried during Maze Hughes' funeral in Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah. There's a lot of heart-wrenching moments, but no, Clannad was just... It's like, if you thought that you had a bad life, this character, I think, his luck stat is a negative.
Oof. So all that luck that he had, is that the stuff that was that the luck that went to Kazuma and Konosuba?
Probably.
Like that's literally the only good stat that that Kazuma has, and then
if there's a JRPG stat in any type of games, like this character, the main character has 0. Oh wait, no, worse than that. He has a -100 of how bad.
That's another great anime was Konosuba, but like a different studio. But I do recommend watching. Konosuba is so it's a comedy series that follows a guy who gets reincarnated to another world, like to an RPG world. But like the creator of the series was like, but like, what if I didn't take any of this seriously?
Yep. I've also watched some of the abridges of that, and those are also hilarious.
Oh yeah, the abridges. And I remember I recommend watching it.
Konosuba the one where the goddess who sends him there gets stuck there as well?
Yep, because he's allowed to take one item with him.
So he takes the goddess Aqua with him.
And turns out she's useless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I saw like the first 2 episodes of that. I have to finish watching it.
Aqua's great because Aqua's kind of like his little sister almost, like the needy little sister, and she's always constantly like one of my favorite running gags is all the characters are almost useless because Kazuma's the only smart one on the team. So they're all like either like his little sisters, or the only one that's the closest that's even equal to him, I would say, is Darkness, when Darkness isn't too busy wanting to be like damaged by people. But everyone else is just like super needy for him, and so they'll constantly be like, Kazuma, yeah, that's my name. Kazuma, yeah, I'm still here. Kazuma, still my name. Like the running joke is that like he just like he's at super like big brother or like dad mode where it's just like, yeah, I don't like, sure, say my name multiple times, not gonna make me answer any faster.
Yeah. I like all of them, and also the supporting cast is pretty funny. Or just the 3 girls that he gets to hang out with are funny. Darkness is hilarious.
Darkness is probably my favorite. I think,
and Megumin is also funny.
I like Megumin. Megumin and Darkness are my favorites. Aqua's okay. I don't hate Aqua. Like I actually like Aqua, but I can see him being with Darkness. I can actually see that relationship. It makes sense. Megumin kind of like the little sister.
I think out of all of them, Megumin is probably my favorite.
Yeah. Also, Isekai Quartet was fantastic. If you watched all 4 of those Isekais.
Oh yeah, I think me and Dalton talked about that for spring 2019 because it was 4 different isekais put into one group, and it's just a bunch of silly, goofy, funny
Oh,
shenanigans.
I loved it. Okay, so I watched.
I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, I love all 4 of those series. So Overlord, ReZero, Konosuba, and Tanya the Evil. I actually do like all those series. Tanya the Evil is probably my least favorite of them, but I still like it. ReZero, goddamn ReZero, Jesus Christ! Like halfway through this series, that gut punches you real hard.
I got bored after the thing with the maids.
Really, I liked it. I mean, it drags somewhere a little bit, but
it's like, okay, this is an isekai anime. At some point, there should be more fighting.
That's the thing. ReZero is not about fighting. ReZero is.
That explains why I got bored.
It's about the strategy of like him like learning a bit more each time.
Yeah.
Like, because it's the challenge of trying to get past the checkpoint.
Yeah.
It's not like when you're stuck in a boss fight, you keep dying over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like
the point of it. It's kind of like that. Like it's point. There is a lot of action later on in the series, like especially the last bit, but like that's not really what it's about. Like ReZero is literally a bit more like a thinking man's anime. Like
I mean, I can appreciate that. One of my favorite isekai is Log Horizon, and that's definitely more of a strategy based on isekai.
Like it's not even an isekai. Like hell, it doesn't even have to be an isekai. Like one of my favorites, I guess it's a reverse isekai, is The Devil's a Part-Timer.
Yeah.
When you said reverse isekai, I knew exactly what you were going to say.
Yep. You knew I was going to say that one.
What's going on, Dalton?
No, nothing. That's just a really cool
title.
Yeah.
The Devil is a Part-Timer. It's a good anime. You should watch it. It's actually a lot of fun.
Essentially, imagine if like the Demon Lord in typical like fantasy anime got sent to the real world, and because of course he's freaking broke, he has to get a part-time job.
Okay,
but still wants to conquer the world.
I'm almost positive that I've seen this because this is sounding really familiar to me.
I can't remember when it was made, but it's not that old. But it's
like about 3-4 years old now.
Yeah.
I think I have seen this then. Yeah.
It was both him and both him and the hero get transported to the human world.
And their powers work, but they're
limited.
Yeah. Limited ability. Yeah.
So what it is so while they're there, they use their powers they only use their powers when they need to, but at the same time the idea is, well, we gotta live in Japan. I think my favorite part is Mal, the Demon King, decides that okay, well, I'm okay with this like carefree lifestyle, so I'm just gonna do this for a while. And,
like the part where he's like working the fryer and like the French fries are getting ruined, looked like how obsessed he was about
yes.
Like, I will take over the world.
No, I think my favorite is the part where Emily, the hero, comes in and she's like, I was like, I know it is this like, and she's like, I'm gonna catch you, and you're gonna be doing something evil. And he's like, you have fun with that. Like he's like, you have fun with that. Okay, excuse me. So how are our bills this month?
Yeah, she's constantly trying to see if he's causing trouble, and following him around.
Yeah,
and he's all like, I'm not doing anything. She's like, he must be planning something nefarious. There's no other explanation.
Exactly. Chiho's best girl. There you go. Oh, screw you. I don't care. She supports Mao no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, she's good. I can't remember the name of the other girl who shows up later on.
Are you talking about the ninja girl?
Yeah, I forgot her name.
I can't remember her name either.
Yeah, she was a cool character, but I can't remember.
She shows up like near the end of the series, so it's kind of hard to like get anything memorable with
her. I think that I've never read the manga for it or anything, but I think that one's considerably longer than the show because it never got a season.
The manga is, I think, still going actually.
Yeah, it didn't. It's still because it ends on a weird point and doesn't continue. So it felt like there was unresolved things that needed to continue.
Well, yeah, there's like a lot of stuff like there's a lot of stuff that the manga touches on that the anime never had a chance to.
Yeah,
and maybe if we're lucky, it'll get a second season, but
yeah,
time will tell.
Underworld Dream says, I didn't like Tanya Evil or Overlord. I feel like there was no real threat for them to face, aka a Mary Sue story. Here's the thing, that's the case with pretty much almost every isekai. Almost all of them are Mary Sue based characters. Kirito from Sword Art Online is a prime example of that.
The thing about
the worst.
Yeah, he's
the Rising of the Shield Hero is that he has to find a way to work around the fact that he can't just bowls over everybody. I mean, he can take hits certainly, but he can't attack, and because he doesn't really have anybody that's helping him a whole lot because he got vilified in the first episode.
Yeah, he's not a Mary Sue character. He's the exception to the rule.
He's more
here's the thing.
I got this done because I work hard.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I would argue that Tanya the Evil is probably not a Mary Sue because Tanya is a government dog. Sure, she's extremely powerful, but she's still a government dog that has to do what the government tells her, and constantly where the government will constantly like force her to go into war when she thinks it's not necessary or stuff like that, or even like where she tries to end the war because she knows certain things are coming, but they won't listen to her strategies or her needs. She is overpowered. I'll give you that much. But
overpowered character doesn't technically mean a Mary Sue character. One of the biggest traits of a Mary Sue character that I'm aware of is they are always right. They're never wrong, and everybody agrees with them wholeheartedly. And if they have allies or friends, they are always going to believe and agree with what they do. Prime example, Kira Yamato from Gundam Seed. Every time he says something, everybody buys into it. He's never reprimanded or punished for his stupidity. And he's stupid 99% of the time.
No. Overlord, on the other hand, is I will agree he's a Mary Sue, but there's a difference with Overlord that I like, and this is just a personal preference that I prefer.
Yeah.
Is with each season you're watching you're watching the main character where Iron School become more and more evil.
He's losing his humanity.
He's like to the point where by the end of season 3, he's literally taken over an entire kingdom, killed countless people, and at the same time, like pretty much almost achieved to the point where I am literally a world threat right now.
Yeah.
When he summoned those like bleeding things with like the multiple mouths.
Yeah.
After he used like essentially like the life force of all the people that he literally just murdered to make monsters to murder more people, and he's like, I actually beat my record on that summons. And that's all he's concerned about.
Yeah, like so in this case scenario, like, and I can understand not liking the series. Like neither of these series, I'm not telling you to like them. I'm pointing out more along.
It can be very brutal in some cases.
Yeah. So like Overlord is one of those series that I feel will, if it continues on, will end with literally Einzgul being killed as a character, because as the series goes on, he becomes more and more the villain. Either he takes over the entire world or he ends up dying. That's the only way around this, because the idea is with each season, with each episode, it's him trying to justify a slightly more evil thing to do.
Yeah.
To the point where you're watching a man slowly lose his humanity, and none of it's like. And if you look at it, like it's almost like there's a point where the camera changes and the tone changes to that almost like a horror-like tone, because we start hearing like backstories of other characters before they go to face him and his crew.
Oh yeah,
and
like,
it's just
when the mercenary group snuck into Nazareth, we got to see flashes of their backstory, and Imes and the floor masters just freaking slaughtered them, and they you see them enjoying it.
Yes.
I haven't gotten that far. I've only watched season 1. I need to go and watch season 2. There's a lot of shows I need to catch up on. That one, considering I like season 1, I would like to continue that one. I need to continue watching Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia as well. Those are the ones that are ongoing that I need to get back to at some point.
That's fair, because My Hero Academia is the new season going to be starting soon.
Yeah, I've cleared through season 1. I need to get to season 2 and 3.
Never got into Attack on Titan.
I honestly don't think there's any anime this season that I'm able to watching, because the best ones are from manga that I've already read.
There's some good ones out there. It's really all dependent on what you're into. Like Dr. Stone just got an anime, and I know a lot of people who really like that.
Yeah.
I love Doctor Stone, but I've already read everything this season is going to cover.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you're reading. You're ahead of the pack. There's there's an isekai that I'm kind of interested in. Normally I don't go for isekais, but I don't know why. Like, there's quite a few that I'm enjoying recently, and I think it's because they're doing something different, not just being isekais. The season 2 of is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? I'm looking forward to that.
I haven't read that. I gotta catch up.
Yeah, Don Machi.
Yep, Damachi season 2. I'm also looking forward to.
Season 1 ended.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. The first episode is out for it, so I'm gonna wait. Like, I usually wait till like the season's done and I just kind of binge a season. There's one where it's like a guy gets reincarnated into an RPG with his mom.
Oh yeah, I actually watched the first episode of that.
Oh, that's weird.
It's right here. It's right here.
Oh yeah, it looks really hilarious, and I'm like kind of intrigued.
It's pretty funny just from the first episode.
Let me ask you something. How do you feel when a show gets a second season after it's been a couple of years since the first one? Like, and I'm not like One Punch Man. It came out in like fall 2015, and then we only just recently got a season 2. So how do you guys feel about anime seasons that have that wide of a gap?
I don't mind it. I mean, like for me, it just means that they needed time to either to work on it, or they needed time to get approval for it, or they may have not planned for a season 2, so they had to wait and see how the waters were for that time period. Like, all these type of things are justifiable.
One Punch Man is that it was going off of Murata's redrawings of the webcomic, and that's taking a while.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not only that. It's so with One Punch Man. Okay, so One Punch Man we'll use that as an example. So sure, the webcomic and the manga are two different things, and they definitely need to make sure there's enough material. That's one problem. The other problem is when the studio bought it, they only bought one season. They didn't know if it would be popular beyond that point. So after buying it one season, they had to then say, okay, so how popular is it after that one season? So we can't just say, oh, is it popular? It's just after like only the one season. They can say, okay, well, the marketing is good, but does it sell merchandise? Are people buying the Blu-ray and the DVD? Are people buying like toys? Are people buying cosplays? Are people buying like all kinds of things? Like when we do demands for it, how much of a demand does it have for a second season? All that kind of stuff is looked into afterwards, and then they say, okay. Once all those things add up, then they say, okay. Now the first thing you have to ask yourself, hey, does the studio that bought it want to make season 2, or does a different studio want to buy the rights to make season 2 now? Because during that time period while we were waiting for all that studio may no longer own the rights to season 2 because they only bought season 1, right?
Yeah, I know that One Punch Man season 2 is made by a different studio. Yeah,
so like all this, so exactly, and these are examples I'm just pointing out. And this is not One Punch Man is not the only one that's done this. There's quite a few animes, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't become popular from second season onward anymore. It just means that like you can't they don't want to put all their eggs in one basket. There's only certain shows they'll buy more than one season of. A good example of that is if it's a shonen, they know will just be popular right out of the get-go.
Yeah.
Naruto, Boruto, One Piece, hell, I would imagine even Dr. Stone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My Hero Academia, like those
Fire Force, maybe.
Fire Force, yeah. Like those are ones where I could see a studio saying, "Well, we'll buy 2 to 3 seasons right now, and we'll coast on that," because like these are series that these are series that are literally designed with the sole purpose of literally being a boys show or a girls show or a little kid show that'll sell.
Die basically.
Yeah, like. These are shows that just don't die. They can go for 5-10 years, and we can bank on them. Like we can make
just add tons of filler.
Yeah. Like not like it's not only that. It's the fact that like these shows are easy to market with because it's like we can make partnerships with McDonald's, with Burger King. We can make partnerships because the thing is these shows are kid friendly too. So because they're
I'd love to see a Goblin Slayer Burger King.
Yeah, like so like it's easy to market these shows at like a fast food restaurant and like make extra cash that way too. You know what I mean? It's a mutual agreement because then they get more money and so does the food place. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like this is literally so like that's why there's where the real difference is when it comes to these show geared toward like otaku or older audiences. It's a little bit different. Like that's why it's you buy one season at a time. It's see how things go.
Overlord, because Overlord also had a bit of a break between seasons.
Yeah,
Attack on Titan has had that same problem too.
like hell, one of my favorite series, Sin Natsu no Taizai. Like when it came back only for some comedic shorts, rather than actually coming back for a full season. I love the series, but I mean, and I bought like some of the toys and stuff like that from it, or not toys, I should say statues, but like it's just the way it is, man. Like, you know, like you just gotta sometimes you just gotta accept the fact that the series isn't gonna come back. Like hell, like it's not like everything's gonna be High School DxD, right? Like where that series got lucky and it made it to like 4 or 5 seasons now. It's ridiculous that even High School DxD made it that far. You know,
people like their fan service.
Well, it's not only the fan service. It's High School DxD also has a really good story.
I know. I've read the light novel. I know that's good stuff.
Yeah, like
I was going to say. I mean, we're talking about anime currently for 2019. We might as well kind of talk about those.
I haven't been watching High School DxD. Did they get to the part with the hero faction?
Yes.
All right. Because that was actually one of my favorite arcs in the light novel.
Oh, nice. I mean, they recently had the part where, well, the recent season 4, at the end of it, they did the tournament where,
where he goes up against the guy with the lion armor, who is I think Rias' cousin.
Yes.
And he didn't inherit the power that she did, but literally trained so hard that his aura became like one of the strongest in the entire world.
Yes. Yeah, and that's where it ended. Season 5 is going to then, I think, do which arc is it? I think it's going to do the Dark Reign arc, if I remember correctly.
I know nothing about High School DxD.
Is this the one with the Demon Lord faction, or does it already happen?
The Demon Lord faction. Is that the one? Like, are you thinking of the one with like the one that tried to make him go crazy?
I don't think so. Like it's been years since I've read it, but it's the one where like in the demon realm, they have demons that have the titles of famous lords like Lucifer and like Leviathan, but there are also people who are like descended from those actual families, and they formed a faction that they try to take over the underworld.
I'd have to double check to see if they did that arc or not.
Okay.
It's a little messy. Sorry.
I can't remember if it was before or after the hero arc.
Yep.
Okay. Dalton, how are things going over there?
Fine. Why?
Oh, well, because these two have just been chatting the most, and
Sorry
I was wondering if you... No, you're fine. I was wondering if you had any input for seasonal shows.
No, I'm just kind of listening at this point.
Oh, okay. Okay, well,
is it going over your head, Dalton? Going a little over your head there?
Not really. It's just I don't really have anything to contribute, so it's just kind of like I'm going to pay attention to this, but I'm not going to make an idiot of myself by saying things.
That's kind of why I was kind of quiet too. I don't know anything about High School DxD at all, really.
Fair enough.
Not really my cup of tea. I mean, I don't mind goofy fan service shows from time to time, but I don't think it's one that I was interested in.
I think I've heard of it, but
I've heard of it.
Nothing about it, so it was just like vaguely familiar, kind of. Sort of.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you go. Sorry.
I was going to say, I think I'm going to move on to one of the other actual news topics, and then we could probably just goof around and talk about the anime seasons.
Sounds good to me.
I like that idea.
All right, well, if I see you have the Gundam Battle Gunpla Warfare.
Yes.
Did you pre-register?
Huh?
Did you pre-register?
Yes, I did.
So did I.
We're gonna talk about that for a little bit. It'll probably be the least thing to talk about because we know next to nothing about it except for what's already been revealed in the trailers and whatnot. But before that, I needed to talk about Robotech because this is something that's been circulating recently because Harmony Gold extended their license agreement with the studio, and I
know you don't like Robotech. I have actually never seen Robotech. I've seen Macross, not seen Robotech.
I love Robotech, actually. I'm a big fan. But my problem is I don't like Harmony Gold. In particular. They have not been a relevant studio for almost a decade. The only thing that they've been able to do is sue people. And that's it. Because, and I've been noticing, because people like the team for like Clownfish TV and whatnot, Neon and whatnot, they're actually really excited about this. But the problem is that they don't know the history and background of what Harmony Gold has been doing over the last decade or so, which is, and
Robotech came out like a while ago, like years and years ago.
That came out in 1985.
Jesus, like have they done anything new with the license?
And here's the thing: they don't own the license to anything.
Well, the way you just described that of them being only good at suing people made me think of the idea of a shonen that features like superpower moves.
It's the only thing they're good at: suing people.
So I mean, like,
God,
like
the suing maneuver is super effective. No,
imagine
the lawyer just like jumps in through the window. It's like affidavit, sir.
What I see is
check with a massive suitcase or something
like if Phoenix Wright just took place in a civil court instead of a
yeah.
But
there was a Phoenix Wright anime actually.
Yes, I think it was called Magical Barristers.
No, there was just a Phoenix Wright anime. There was an actual adaptation.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Like there was like a series with lawyers with magical powers.
Oh, okay.
That I've never heard of, but cool.
Oh my god, I have to see that now.
But here's the thing: Harmony Gold has been in legal confrontations and battles with with Studio Tatsuko for years, and in particularly the reason why they claim that they own the rights to Macross and Southern Cross and Mospita when they don't. The studios own those rights. They had the right to air it in the States, but
What's Southern Cross?
Okay, Robotech was divided into 3 seasons originally in the 1980s. The first one is the whole series is called Robotech, but the first anime that they adapted was Macross, which was about 30, 40 episodes of probably one of the best mech shows ever created.
I know, I've seen it.
After that, they adapted another show called Southern Cross, and that was what made Robotech Season 2. And then these shows have no connection except for the people who own the original company, Tatsuko. They're the only ones, from my knowledge, that is the only connection. All 3 shows were separate. They were not connected. Basically, what the Harmony Gold did is they took all 3 shows and mashed them to make them one cohesive story. It's hit or miss mostly, but it kind of worked for its time period. Problem is, right now, currently, is that the last project that Robotech did that Harmony Gold did, was a movie called The Shadow Chronicles. That was the last time they did anything. And that was in 2006, so over a decade ago. The only recent news that happened more recently was the fact that Sony had acquired the rights to make a Robotech live-action film, which, by the way, has been in hiatus for almost 4 years. They have a director.
At that point, we start referring to it as development.
Yeah, it has a director and a producer and nothing else attached to it. Now, I'm assuming the reason why Sony has just been waiting and holding on to that news and information is probably because of Harmony Gold's ongoing legal battles with the Japanese studio. Thing is, the Japanese studio isn't the only one that has suffered under Harmony Gold's bullshit. The video game developers who own the license for BattleTech have also had legal battles and confrontations with Harmony Gold now for quite a few years.
Now, I've heard of BattleTech, but I haven't seen how the 2 of those things are related.
How they're related is that both Harmony Gold and the Japanese company who made the mechs for the show or one designer made mechs for both series, basically. And they sold them the same copies of designs. That's kind of the shortened TLDR version. A guy designed some mechs, and they sold them to both companies. And then they used both. And then now because of it, Harmony Gold thinks they own legal rights to the design. They don't, because it was sold to both of them. Unfortunately, the companies that make BattleTech have caved to their demands and given them money. And, well, if we know anything about legal actions, you never pay ransom because they'll just ask for more money. And that's what Harmony Gold has done for several years. They've just continually demanded money, and people have settled out of court.
There's also there's also like this scenario here where, because I mean, wouldn't it also be like a confusion of the American studio, because the American studio that made like the English translation combined Macross and Robotech into like one series, didn't they? So doesn't that also lead to some confusion as well?
It does, considering that the studio in Japan is the only one who owns the rights. The only thing that Harmony Gold has any legal precedence of ownership of is the renamed characters and the name Robotech. That is the only legal things that they own. And here's the biggest part that pisses me off and has pissed off a lot of fans of not only Robotech but Macross as well, is the fact that because of Harmony Gold, nothing that is Macross related can come stateside. And nothing has for several decades. Because of their interference, both Macross and Robotech are basically dead franchises at this point. They're barely talked about in the anime community. Only people who know about it are old fogies like me who actually give a shit. And people like Neon. And the fact that I got upset because it's like you're actually praising the fact that they get to hold on to this license that they haven't done anything with for 10 years. The only people proactively active in making something is Sony. It's not even you. So what the hell are you going to do with the license aside from lord it over the studios and continue to milk it?
I've actually heard about people who do this. They buy like copyrights or licenses, and then they sue people who have like the tiniest of violations on that copyright for money.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they've been doing.
Merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made, to quote Spaceballs.
Yep. Clownfish TV interviewed them. Harmony Gold only says can't talk about because non-disclosure agreement. They have big plans. We can't talk about it. If you want something, tell them. I don't want anything from Harmony Gold. That's the thing. The last thing that they did was a Kickstarter campaign called, I can't even remember what it was called, and it was like 5 years ago. And guess what? One YouTuber, Happy Console Gamer, said, do not give them your money. Because they're the ones who have been withholding the progress of this franchise for decades. Do not let them have your money.
So in other words, all that glitters is not gold?
Pretty much.
And on that note, Anglantine just sent me the link for Thunderdome, so I will talk to y'all later.
Okay, I'll talk to you later, Dalton. Have fun.
Cheers, guys.
See ya.
But and the last product that I think that Robotech or Harmony Gold had any involvement in was a comic. I can't remember what studio made the comic. And I remember I reviewed the first issue of that comic, and it was utter trash. In particularly because the art was so horrendously bad, and they made the characters completely polar opposite to their Robotech counterparts. You made Minmay the most dopiest and adorable girl ever, the most unlikable character in your comic. I don't know how you're physically capable of doing this. Yes, Minmay was the idol character for the show.
Yeah, the one whose song literally stopped the war.
Yeah, but she's an idiot and oblivious to mostly everything that happens around her. But she was a sweetheart, and in that new rendition of the comic, which was basically just a remake of the first episode or the first 2 episodes that I read, it was bad. She was treated as if she was some sort of bitchy, yelly, angry person. I'm like, who the hell thought that this was the character.
Essentially, she's that one woman from Gundam Seed, the one that kept pushing Kira to kill people.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, her.
It wasn't really that. She was just bitchy for the sake of being bitchy. And I'm like, this doesn't seem like Minmay. Where's that cute, adorable girl who's just got stars in her eyes and she's super happy and flighty all the damn time? Says that their CEO has been acquired, so he's not a criminal due to double jeopardy.
What?
It's Underworld Dream. That their CEO had been acquitted. Did he commit a crime? Aside from the legal battles between their studios, I don't know anything about that. Quite honestly, I'm not.
Perjury.
Huh?
So maybe he committed perjury.
Possibly. That would probably be the only thing I could think of him committing as a crime. But perjury? Yeah, maybe. I'm just pissed off more than anything because I would like Robotech to continue existing, just not under the banner of Harmony Gold. After learning what their studio has done for years, I don't want them to have the license anymore. I would rather Sony hold on to the license and butcher it than have them continue to hold on to it. Because at least Sony would milk it, at least. Make something out of it.
Like at least something would exist, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because they haven't done anything. And the fact that Clownfish TV and these people have said, like, oh, we have things planned. Basically, to me, that just says, oh, we're going to plan something, but we're not going to make it. Because their last campaign failed tremendously and nothing came of it anyway. Hold on, let me see. I'm going to actually look this up real quick. Let's see. Harmony Gold. Kickstarter. Let's check. Because I'm pretty sure it'll show up. Or maybe it won't because it was probably canceled. Oh, that's what it is. Robotech Academy. I found it.
Is that the name of the movie or?
That was the name of the Kickstarter. I'm gonna bring this up real quick. Yes, we're gonna share. Up. And dub. Canceled project. Robotech Academy. Funding canceled. This project was canceled by the project creators August 2nd, 2014. They pledged, or the backer, or the goal was over $500,000. They never reached it, obviously, which is why it was probably canceled in the first place. There's not really a whole lot of information. So anybody who did back, I don't know if they got their money back or not. I would certainly hope so. There's a video attached to it. Let me see.
There is a way to find out if they got their money back. It depends on like the type of funding that they use for their goal.
I'm probably gonna get a copyright claim. What am I doing? But let's see. Because I'm not really seeing any information about like what the project was supposed to be, because I can't remember. Okay, hold on. Now we got the person. You know what? Quite honestly, I don't care. Why am I even bothering? But just to prove my point, it was a canceled project. They couldn't raise the money, and I think, in particularly because of the video that I mentioned from Happy Console Gamer, this is probably what torpedoed their campaign, because he told them not. Because he's a pretty substantial YouTube channel. So I would imagine that might have done some damage to their reputation as a studio. And I mean, Shadow Chronicles was the last thing they made. And I mean, as far as I know, most of that was done in-house. So they're not entirely devoid of anything. But I do not want to see this company continue to profit off this franchise anymore. I do not want to see that anymore. And unfortunately, they probably will, because Sony will probably continue their movie project. Don't know if it's going to be any good or not. I'm going to err on the side of caution and probably avoid talking about it, because we don't even have a trailer. We have a live action Gundam show that's coming, or a movie that's coming like next year. And or relatively soon. I forgot when that one was going to be made. From what I remember, though, that project has more legs than this one does. So we're probably going to see a live action Gundam movie before we see live action.
I was just about to say, didn't some company announce a live action Gundam movie in the works?
Yeah,
I don't want to see a live action Gundam movie.
I mean, I know G Savior was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a Gundam fan. I'm not a big Gundam fan as it is, so I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Normally, when it comes to like my anime or my comic books, I'm not. I don't want to see live action versions. So
my only issue is, can they tell? It either has to be a very long movie or separate it into those movies, because it's very. I think it's gonna be very difficult to tell like good Gundam story in a single movie.
Yeah. I don't even know what they're basing it off of or anything yet.
I mean, the Universal Century would make the most sense.
Yeah. All we have is like a logo and a date, and I mean, because unlike the Robotech project, they have a director and they have a writer and the producers. They have stuff already in the works. I can't remember the name of the writer, though. He was the guy who wrote Why the Last Man. What's the comic book writer's name?
I forget, but Why the Last Man was dead.
Yeah. So he's going to be the one writing the story, or writing the script for the movie. At least as of right now. And both Sunrise and Lionsgate are definitely planning on making this project
Wait, it's
work.
American made?
Yes, Lionsgate is the studio in charge, but like I said, Sunrise has a direct interaction with them. It's a joint project made by them. Also, probably to celebrate Gundam's 40th anniversary. So there's that too to consider.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just no. American made. I feel like they always seem to lose like the nuance.
Yeah, that is always a possibility. I'm waiting for a trailer before I get actually genuinely excited. I'm curious to see if they can make it work, but also, I mean, especially after Alita Battle Angel did relatively well. So I'm hopeful that, if you're going to be making an animated version of a film, it can at least do a good job. Sunrise and the Gundam, particularly the Gundam creative teams, have been trying to push really hard to get back into mainline consciousness, I guess, of the anime community and whatnot. So stuff like this could also help them in the long run, but we'll have to wait and see if they actually manage to make something really good or really terrible. So long as it's not Sunrise doing it this time around, because G Savior was, as Mr. E said, terrible. Something that you probably should not, that people don't even want to acknowledge exists. Sunrise in particular. But I guess that's the Robotech and Macross stuff. And the fact that it's like, the only news basically from what I can see is that they managed to continue to hold on to the license. Aside from that, it doesn't sound like they have anything else going for them currently, aside from the movie announcement. But nothing has come from that yet. We haven't even gotten a trailer or casting or anything of that nature. I don't know. Like I said, I don't like that people are actually, or that there might be some people actually praising this. I'm a little disappointed in Clownfish for TV for not doing the research on Harmony Gold. It's one thing to be a fan of Robotech, it's another thing to not know its sordid history and past, and what Harmony Gold has done to the franchise.
That's fair.
It's just a mild criticism. I still like them, but this is one of those times where I am vehemently opposed to. And if I didn't even watch, unfortunately, didn't watch the streams or anything because of my unabated disdain for Harmony Gold. I guess I was like, I don't even want to hear what their lip service mouthpiece has to say because it's probably just a bunch of nothing. And it's a damn shame because Macross is still pretty popular in Japan, and they still make shows for it. But we're never going to get to see them unless you buy the DVDs from Japan or pirate it. Those are the only ways you're getting your hands on that stuff, which is unfortunate. Because the studio can't do anything about it. It's not the same as with Sentai and Kamen Rider where they choose not to release it here for one reason or another. Although that might be changing in the future because it sounds like a lot of the actors who are part of Kamen Rider want to bring it stateside by some form of streaming service. But this is a different situation where the studios obviously want to bring it out here. The Japanese studio wants to bring Macross over, but can't because of Harmony Gold's interference.
And guess we'll see what happens.
Well, considering that apparently they extended the contract and they're going to hold on to it probably for another 34 years. Or at least that's what it sounded like with some of the titles of articles and whatnot. Great. So 34 years of nothing? Probably. Probably shitty comic books and maybe a few movies. Maybe they'll do an animated project. Because they've never bothered to adapt any of the other Macross stuff anyway. Except for Macross Plus. I think was the only thing Harmony Gold made. Anyway, I'm done talking about it. I want to move on. But yeah. Actually, I should probably check chat. How's chat doing? I'm sorry, Wolf. I'm looking for Phase 4 news. Phase 4 of Robotech. Lawsuit edition. Amazon
I think Phase 4 of Marvel because they're doing that announcement right now.
I honestly do not care.
No, neither do I.
Endgame was pretty much my endpoint. I haven't even... Hello, puppy.
I'm sorry. My sister's out of town.
Oh, no, I was already done well before Endgame.
My sister's out of town. I'm watching it dog.
Oh, that's okay. I don't mind. I don't really know anything about the Phase 4.
And there's a thunderstorm here, so the lightning is going to be upsetting them.
Yeah. In the Clown TV chat, people were bashing Harmony a lot. Really? Maybe it will be worth watching if I watch the stream chat, as people bash the company relentlessly for its shitty practices.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard of very few companies that have worse practices than Harmony Gold.
They're definitely at the top of the list, guys. This is not up for debate. They should not be trusted with anything. The fact that they managed to maintain and hold on to the license is probably what pisses me off the most. Because now we'll probably have another 10, 20 some odd years of them doing nothing with it. I know they announced another comic book, but since the last ones were so goddamn terrible, why would I want to read another one?
Good question.
I mean, the only saving grace for those comics was the variant covers that I purchased because I liked the art for it. I only bought 2 copies. I only got the variant cover for Lisa Hayes and the variant cover for Rick Hunter, which were really good variant covers that I liked.
Guys, I gotta take care of the stuff.
Yeah, okay.
That's fine.
Thanks for having me on, Nigel.
Yeah, if you manage to corral him or calm him down or whatever, and you want to come back, you can jump back in, man.
All right,
it's up to you. Yeah.
Peace.
Amazon has Kamen Rider Amazon. That is true. It's a start. It's a point in the right direction to have streaming services that release Kamen Rider. I just want more than just that one. Would be nice, I think.
I mean, I'm actually kind of curious why Shout Factory doesn't do the subs for Kamen Rider and release them along with
Well, it's probably Yeah, it's probably because they just don't have the money for it, or might be because Toei doesn't want it stateside right now or something. I think it's just because the license, because from what I understand of it in Japan, Kamen Rider is more popular than Sentai is, so it's worth
Yes.
more money. So that might be it. Licensing it might cost a pretty penny.
It
At least
is
that's what
definitely
I've
worth a
heard.
bit. Yeah, it is definitely worth more. But thing is like Shout Factory. You would think Shout Factory want to take a chance. I mean, there's a big Kamen Rider fan base in the West, especially
Yeah,
with like
I wouldn't be surprised if they managed to get their hands on it at some point. Because, like I said, there's a lot of actors that do want it to go more global stateside. This is coming.
However, like I mean, I guess Amazon could do it too because Amazon has started doing subs as well.
Yeah, Amazon. Heck, I saw a whole. I was on Netflix a few days ago, and there was a ton of like Japanese drama shows on it too. I'm like, okay, these were not here the last time I was on Netflix.
Yeah,
Because I decided I wanted to watch some Naruto for a bit, and yeah, it's like this was not here before. These
So
are
I mean,
new.
yeah, if they recognize the popularity of the genres, they might be able to do it.
Yep,
At least.
it might at least give them proper cause and reason to do this.
I mean, what I would like to see maybe down the line is, and I've said this before, and I think you were there when I said this once before. Was like I'd like to see like not only subs, but I'd also like to eventually see rather than like do the Power Ranger thing where they like cut the scenes out and like put like the Power Rangers in between. Like I want to see like straight up actual like dub overs of the series eventually one day. You know what I mean? Sure. I mean I know the lips wouldn't match, but let's be honest with ourselves. It wouldn't have to. Like
I
fans.
would, if I was being completely honest, I would like another attempt to make a Western version of Kamen Rider. Yeah, I'm actually on board for that because the last one that they made, which was Kamen Rider Dragonite, was actually pretty damn good. I thought it was really good because that was like my first exposure to Kamen Rider aside from Mask Rider, which was terrible.
Well, I mean, like I'm not against them doing an American version, but I think like the easier thing is just to do a straight dub and like
it would save money. That's for sure.
It would save money, and I think that not only that, it would also be like a great chance for them to do to try something different. Sure, I mean, yeah, the lip syncs won't match, but I mean, come on, remember those old Chinese like kung fu movies?
Oh yeah,
those were like massively popular, and the lip sync didn't match in those. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah. I mean, I would watch it too. It would be hilarious.
Yeah, like let's be honest with ourselves. It'd be a good time,
Yeah. Anyway, last bit of kind of news-based stuff I wanted to cover was the Gundam Battle Gunpla Warfare announcement. We kind of touched on it a bit. I kind of wish I knew more information. It's really weird that they announced this, but we don't have a whole lot of information to go on except for what was already shared in the trailer. And it's coming out this summer. I'm like, wow, that is incredibly fast. I certainly hope that this is going to be fun.
So, like, what is it about? Like, is it just like a series about like how to like make gunpla or something? Or?
Okay, so Switch, do you remember the Gundam games called Gundam, or what was it?
Gundam Breaker?
Yeah, Gundam Breaker. Yes. It's basically this is basically the kind of the next Gundam Breaker, just in a mobile form.
Okay.
So at least from what I've understand, though, it does not hold the Gundam Breaker title. Of course, after New Gundam Breaker, I'm not surprised because New Gundam Breaker tanked tremendously badly, and them having
so you build your own Gundam, like with parts and pieces and stuff like that. Okay.
That was what Gundam Breaker was all about: collecting pieces and building your own model kits.
Like, I'm presuming this will have like a different battle system than Gundam Breaker did because it's mobile. So I mean, it's kind of hard to do that on mobile.
From building, painting, photo studio. Where's battle information? Is it battle over here? Let's go over to this page. Maybe this is where the battle stuff is. Become an expert Gundam battle master. Yeah, it's similar. It looks like touchpad controls. And
I don't like touchpad gaming. Like I don't like action gaming on touchpad, just because with character action games, I like playing them like with controller.
Yeah.
Like so. I mean, for people who are excited for this, I hope they have a good time with it. For me, I'm probably again, I'm not the biggest Gundam guy. Like I'll admit to that, but the only thing I'd probably buy this for, like, or even play this for, is to build my own Gundams and like work on them. I would never probably even bother doing with the battle stuff. And the thing is, like, you probably have to do the battle stuff to unlock things. And
yeah, that's the one thing, because people are talking about, since this is a free-to-play game, we know that there's going to be a gacha of some sort. We just don't know what it will be for exactly. Yeah. My hope, because here's the thing, from what the trailer explains and whatnot, you can I wonder, does it show it? It doesn't show it here. There's the ability to get like AI partners or AI simulations of the most popular Gundam pilots and whatnot. I could see that potentially being the gacha system, and if it is the gacha system, I'm okay with that, because I don't want the collecting of combat parts and weapons to be restricted to, some sort of gacha system, except for the game's own personal RNG, because that's what I had to deal with, in the original Gundam Breaker games, because it was all RNG based. Everything was randomly dropped.
So here's my thing. Like, I'd rather not a gacha system, but if there is one, at least like have alternatives for people to unlock things, and don't make it like unfair.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I know these gacha type games are popular in Japan right now. That's why they're probably doing it. They're trying to
it makes the most money.
Yeah, like they're trying to get in on that. Like, at least the studios, the people developing the game, I don't even believe that they probably want to do this. They'd probably still like to work on the classic games if they can.
Depends on which team is working on this one. The team that they had for New Gundam Breaker was a whole new team. They put the other team on a different project entirely.
Yeah.
And that was actually a detriment to the game, actually, because New Gundam Breaker was terrible. It was broken when it released, and even when they patched it, it still wasn't that good, even from what I've seen.
Yeah, like, here's the
thing.
I
mean, on Amazon right now, you could buy the English version of it for like $10.
Like, here's the thing, right? Like, let's be honest with ourselves here. It's Bandai. Like, it is a crapshoot with Bandai, whether like it's good or bad. Or Bamco, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Because like it really depends on which team they put on it, and it also depends on like how quickly Bamco wants to get it out of the door and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Hell, let's take a look at like. Let's take a look at like the Cyber Sleuth games, like the Digimon Cyber Sleuth games. While those games are fantastic and fun, that was like really rushed out for the English market. Like the translation isn't even that great. And that's just because it's Bamco. You know what I mean? Like that's how they work.
Yeah, there's a bit of a rush.
Yeah, and so I don't know if it's the people working on these games that we would really blame. It's it's the exact scenario of like Bamco and how they like to like work with their franchises to begin with, really more than anything else.
Well, it is good. The thing is that this looks like it's relatively fleshed out, just from what they've shown. There is a story and whatnot. Free missions, daily missions. Okay, typical gacha game stuff. You know what? I just thought of something. If they were to do like for certain suits and whatnot, were part of a gacha themselves, if they could manage to do something similar to games like either Azur Lane or
I'd imagine it's probably going to be similar to like I imagine it's going to be like similar to the Yu-Gi-Oh game, or to the Fate game.
Yeah,
because those two are the most popular ones. That I can think of right now. There might be another one I might be missing, but like in Japan, those two are really popular in how they do it.
Yeah.
Particularly the Fate one more so than the Yu-Gi-Oh one.
Yeah.
Like Fate Grand Order.
I play plenty of Fate Grand Order.
Yeah.
Trust me. I'm aware.
There's a nice, like, I'll give Grand Order this much. There's a nice balance of this, of what you can play, what you can do, and what you unlock and all that kind of stuff. That I feel like with Grand Order, it makes you feel like you don't have to buy it, but every once in a while you feel the urge to want to buy something and hopefully you'll get something else out of it.
Yeah, especially when they do a guaranteed one.
Yeah, so I can see them like mimicking that with this, and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, we'll see. Because
I would say it will probably be, like you mentioned, the Yu-Gi-Oh game. It could be more like that because it's probably going to be more like pack-based kind of thing where you're building multiple things or you're picking up multiple things.
My biggest gripe with the Yu-Gi-Oh one and Konami just in general is Konami has like a thing now. I don't know if they did it with the card-based one on the phone, but I know they did this with the World's Duelist on the PC, which still a fun game. I enjoy playing it. I had a great time with it. I unlocked a whole load of cards, and there's a lot to do even with the base game itself. But certain packs you have no access to until you buy them.
Yeah.
So like there's just certain cards that you're viably just not going to get until you bought that pack. So that means that like it's not that you get all the cards in that pack right away. Some of them you do, some of them you don't. Some of them just you won't unlock anything from that pack until you've bought the rights to be able to do so.
Yeah, that's predatory, to be honest.
Yeah, and
the mobile game is, I think, better in that regard. You could buy gems and whatnot, but you could pick whatever packs you want. Any of them that are available, through the game, that are in the shop, you can pick up. And and the game is it's relatively fair with the gems that it gives you already. And if you feel the need to maybe purchase a bit to buy certain packs, like if you're playing competitively, but I don't play competitively, I play just for fun, and I haven't touched the game actually for several months. And
I mean, don't get me wrong.
All characters are free. You don't have to pay for characters.
Well, not you don't have to pay for any of the characters on the PC like version. They ported that game over to PC, and like it plays the same as the mobile version, but and that one's the same. But there was another game before this one where
I know the one you're referring to.
Yeah, like the one I'm thinking of. The reason I think they did that way, and I could be wrong, is because I think those packs were supposed to be DLC. So like as those packs are not just packs, but as those like seasons are introduced to the show and stuff like that, you're supposed to be able to buy those cards and then get access to them that way. And so like they're supposed to be DLC rather than them releasing a new game every year. Just kind of introduce the packs with those cards in them into the game as DLC. Like I understand it, like logically I understand it. The way it works, I feel, is just a little predatory though.
Yeah.
But at the same time, part of me is like, yeah, I also don't want like a new Yu-Gi-Oh game coming out every year too. So
yeah.
So it's a weird double-edged sword.
Yeah. I will say this. I like the character designs for this game. They look really good.
They do look cute. I like the character designs. I
could see waifu potential for people.
Oh my. All the waifus and the husbandos.
Well, I only see two husbandos. One's the protagonist that doesn't have a name, and then I'm assuming the main antagonist because he's the one in the trailer that he's fighting.
Probably.
But 4 girls, quite cute. I don't know. I don't know when the game comes out. I'm actually waiting right now. I am pre-registered, so when it does come out, I will give the game a try.
I hope people enjoy it for what it is.
If you're one of those people who aren't into Gundam, this is not the game for you.
Yeah. For me, I'm probably not going to be picking it up.
Yeah.
Not that I have anything against Gundam. Like, it's just I'm not a big Gundam guy. For me, like I like my animes. I know I know I have like slightly not strange taste. I would say, like hell, I know I'm the guy. Like I'll tout it. Like I like ecchi anime because it's fun and it's silly. No, I don't like every ecchi anime because there's some that are really just stupid and really like don't. Like, oh look, it's Opie. Oh yeah, and I'm like, no. Like I want like an actual. I want characters I can enjoy in it too.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to explain it.
Yeah.
But because like for the people who watch ecchi for the sake of ecchi, cool. For me, I like ecchi because I like the fun of the ecchi, but I also like good character development and it's fun to see a director like just be able to go all out with it at the same time.
Yeah.
But I also like other animes too. Like I like some action ones and I like some other ones. For me, Gundam has just never been one that I've always been super like. Every once in a while, I'll come and I'll see a Gundam. Like I watched Gundam Wing, I watched Gundam Seed, I watched 0080.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while, like I'll come in and I'll see a specific Gundam. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I watched one of the SD series. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah. I not everybody likes Gundam, and that's fine. I was actually more or less surprised that this game is having a global release, and I'm assuming the Japanese and English are coming out at the same time. I'm like, that was something I was not expecting.
Yeah, that one shocked me. You know, one actually I will watch. That for my mecha, for me, I was always a big fan of the Full Metal Panic series.
Full Metal Panic is one of my favorites too. I do love it.
It's a great series, and I think it's because it's like not 100% just a mecha.
It's a slice of life show on top of that.
It's a slice of life. There's also like the guy really understands the military and military like weaponry and stuff like that. There's a grounded feel in like the universe almost.
Yeah, grounded for the most part, with the exception of like some of the weirder elements,
some of the weirder aspects, but like
the whisper and things of that nature. It's like, okay, but like, that's a little weird.
If you look at his design notes, a lot of the tech that's designed does have some viable nature behind it. Like it's always based off of something that already exists, and it's like he like goddamn, like he went in such high depth like to design his weaponry. It's like if this really existed, what would we base it off of, and how would it actually work? And it's like, I think that's part of one of the reasons I also love Full Metal Panic as much as I do, because of that like aspect of just the dedication to try to make it feel proper,
feel real.
Yeah.
I think it was relatively similar with the series of Pat Labor too.
Yes,
they made mechs that were very grounded and very believable, that could exist in the real world in some form of a future.
Exactly.
And I appreciate that, and also I really appreciated the comedy for Full Metal Panic.
The comedy Full Metal Panic was. It's like it was a nice way to like lightheartedly like sprinkle something in between like these really serious moments.
Oh yeah.
Especially like because once the military stuff really starts up in that series, it's like, no, it does not hold your hand. It is like this is no longer a joke. Somebody could die.
Yeah.
Stuff gets really serious.
Yeah,
and
I think I need to watch season 2. I only watched through season 1, and the joke parody thing they did, Fumofu, which was hilarious as well.
I love Fumofu. Fumofu is actually like a lot of the slice of life stuff that just never made into the main series.
Yeah, I really, Sanosuke is probably one of my favorite characters. Just. This is a dude who doesn't understand a lot of things. He's just all military all the time, and I just love how blunt he was throughout the entire series.
Like that's his character. It's like there's a part where he like shooting where he's playing like the shooting game in the gallery.
Yeah,
and then it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then like you see and then you see like the shots going through the screen of, and he's just like doesn't realize he has to aim away from it to like fire and reload it.
Yeah. Or I think one of my favorite ones is just like from the first couple episodes where he's trying to protect Chidori, and he's and the teacher stops because he has guns in his bag, and she's like, "You're not supposed to bring toys to school." He's like, "Ma'am, that is not a toy."
Yes, that's not a toy. That is actually a high caliber weapon. Like he goes through like the specs of the gun. Like that's a 9mm West handle. Yada yada yada. Like, wait, what? It's like, okay, so if you have any like things like this, you have like they're confiscated. They're not allowed to be at school. Wait, does this one also have to be confiscated as well? This is like, wait, what? You have more than one?
Yeah, and it just like all of the bluntness of what he does throughout,
like
just protecting Chidori is hilarious.
Or the condom scene.
The condom one was funny. He's like, "Yeah, you could put over a liter of water into this," and they're like,
Yeah.
His two teammates were like, "I'm sorry."
Season 2 though gets really dark. Season 2 is really dark. I highly recommend watching it though. It gets really dark. It's shorter than season 1 was, but they definitely they don't waste it.
I wonder where I can actually watch that. I don't know.
I'm sure you can find it somewhere. Season 3 actually recently got released too, and I have to watch that. I have to watch season 3. I haven't yet to watch it.
Yeah.
And I know there was the SRPG that also released as well.
Yeah, I remember that. I wonder if it got a Taiwanese release, because normally when they do, they have English.
I think there's an English Asia version, yeah. So might have to take a look at that.
I would really like to play that because it looked really cool. I can't remember what it was called, but it looked awesome. But I think the last thing we could probably talk about is we talked a little bit about the current season that we got going on.
Yeah, there's some current seasons of anime.
Yeah,
there was a the fire chief or the firefighter one looks interesting.
Fire Force. I actually it has 3 episodes out currently on Funimation. Mm-hmm. I watched them. It's really good actually. I'm genuinely surprised. I saw the trailers for this. I was like, this looks kind of interesting, where people are spontaneously combusting and turning into fire monsters, and you have a team of people with special powers to try and fight this strange occurrence.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how like it's intriguing to me. Another one that like intrigued me was I like the animation style so far from what I saw. Is like the dumbbell one.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I haven't watched any of it, but I've seen like the ads for it. It looks kind of silly.
I mean, it looks like it's just going to be a basic slice of life anime.
That might be fun to watch. I mean, the last slice of I've been watching Fruits Basket, and I've also been I was watching We Never Learn as well. So
I hear Tajina Senpai is fun.
That was one that's coming out right now, or
Tajina Senpai is the magician one.
Oh.
Our main character finds out that his school requires him to join a club, and during his reluctant search, he stumbles upon Tajina Senpai attempting magic tricks in her club room. I think it's just like I think it's just a slice of life ecchi anime. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I also was interested in the Okasan.
This one.
Yeah, with the mom going to it's just a nice little twist on the isekai.
I actually watched the first episode, and I was like, this is ridiculous and silly, and it might be fun to watch.
A friend of mine said he likes Isekai Cheat Magician. He was reading the manga, and he said, hey, I might like that one, so I might put it on my list of ones to potentially watch. Again, I usually wait till the seasons are done, and then I just kind of like binge.
Yeah. I sometimes I'll watch the shows when they air, and then sometimes it'll be a binge, because there's like these gaps. Like, let's see. Hold on a second. I'm going to put Funimation up on my phone, and I'm going to check what shows I was watching more recently, or what's like.
I don't have a Funimation account. I don't watch on.
You can watch it on whatever you want, bro.
No. It's just that I just don't. I stopped supporting Funimation when I found out that like they were lying about supporting these companies. So I ended up supporting them in other ways.
Yeah,
because I want to support the companies making these shows, not
right.
You know what I mean? And that's a personal thing more than anything else. Like
for me, it's just more of a sense of convenience than anything else, and I like dubs more than having to do the whole reading subtitles thing. I don't mind doing it, but I would prefer to avoid it if I can.
Oh no, I don't blame you at all. Like by all means, again, I can only speak for myself and what I prefer to do. I can't tell you like what you should do and what you can't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's see.
Duel Masters is still going on. Jesus Christ!
What?
I was looking at a continuing series. Apparently, Duel Masters is still going on.
Yeah, let's see. The shows I was watching: Fruits Basket, Helpful Fox, Senko-san. Actually, that one was pretty funny. There's this one. I kind of started watching it. Then I was like, I probably don't know if that's something that I'd be interested in. I don't know why I clicked on it. Morbid curiosity. This one right here.
Oh,
something about a guy who gets a letter in his a love letter, and apparently I don't know. The girls might be perverts or something. I don't know. It might be something up your alley.
Yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah, the girls are the perverts, and they all have like weird kinks that they want him to like be part of or something. Yeah,
something like that probably. Not something that I would openly seek out. Even this isekai, the one that I did watch the first episode of, I know it might get into that territory because it's what it seems like it might do. And if it does that,
didn't like the mother lose her clothes on like the first episode or something?
No, they didn't even get into their first adventure yet.
Okay.
I think episode 2 is where that happens probably.
Okay. I know in one of the episodes, like the mother, like I think it's the mother, she loses like all her clothes, and then she like defeats a monster or something.
Well, she could defeat the monsters already. She doesn't need to lose her clothes for that. She got the.
No, but I mean, come on, it's anime tropes.
True, but I did watch. What was it? Yeah, like I said, We Never Learn. Rising of the Shield Hero has been awesome.
I need to catch up on Rising on the Shield Hero. I have yet to watch that series. I hear good things though.
Fairy Gone.
I know that Fairy Tail Final is still going.
Yeah. Well, Fairy Gone is a different series, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm on episode 9.
Okay.
Right now. That one's more like kind of in my wheelhouse of kind of like darker, more serious storytelling with like some interesting ideas and concepts for like governments and what's happening in the world and whatnot. Kind of reminds me a bit of things like Valkyria Chronicles and Final Fantasy Tactics, which I appreciate.
The OVAs for the that time I got reincarnated as a slime came out as well.
Oh, they did? I should probably watch those.
Yes,
because I love that show. I was watching Wise Man's Grandchild. That one's kind of interesting.
The new Neptunia series also came out, I think.
What other shows are coming? Well, at least that's what I've been watching, and there's probably some other stuff that I'll probably.
Oh, the Konosuba movie's gonna be. It just came out recently. I got to watch that.
Oh.
Yeah, that
I should probably watch the show before I watch that because.
Yes. Yes. Like I feel like the movie either is going to finalize it or is going to lead into the next season. Either way.
Actually, I think this is another isekai that I think sounded kind of interesting to me. 17-year-old is your average everyday otaku. However, his simple life is of pulling all-nighters and sleeping in school suddenly turned upside down when he, along with the rest of his class, is summoned to a fantasy world. But it's like it's not just him that's summoned; everybody is. Huh?
That's interesting.
They're treated like heroes and tasked with the duty of saving the human race from utter extinction. But what should have been an otaku's wet dream quickly turns into Hajima's nightmare. While the rest of his class are blessed with godlike powers, Hajima's job, synergist, only has a single transmutation skill.
Oh yeah, here's one I was interested in too. I forgot all about it. Machikado Mazoku, or I don't know what it's called in English, but it's like a demon girl who awakens her dormant powers as a devil girl, but like she sucks at it.
Oh,
and yeah, it's just a fun little comedic slice of life. There it is, Machikado, little devil girl, and she actually faces the magical girl in her realm with the girl with the pink dress and the girl with the horns there. And she actually faces. Well, it's supposed to be funny, and she actually does face like the magical girl, but like just fails. Epically fails.
This one is interesting. I know this was a Shonen Jump title. It's something about outer space. This is definitely in my wheelhouse. I should probably watch this one when I get a chance.
Did you say a sci-fi series? Well, I do like sci-fi. Maybe.
Yeah, it's one where they're like stuck in a different part of space than they're supposed to be, I think.
Okay, so sort of like Star Trek.
Voyager.
Voyager, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to a camp, I guess. B5 arrives on their planetary campsite, and a mysterious and unforeseen sentient light sphere warps its 9 members into outer space, stranding them 512 light years away from their home planet.
Oh yeah, okay. That could be interesting, actually.
Yeah, I'm curious about it because I remember I saw the manga. I didn't read the manga, but I saw it on Shonen Jump.
The art style looks cool.
Yeah, I like the way it looks. It could be a really fun one, and I'm a sucker for sci-fi, so definitely something I'd be interested in.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, there's definitely been a resurgence of sci-fi. I'm still waiting for the anime version of Eden Zero to finally come out.
We of course we also have some Fate stuff going on too. So that's
another new Fate series.
The Lord El Malloy case files. Weird thing is that show started like several months ago, like during I think around spring or fall. The first episode was aired on Crunchyroll.
Okay.
But it hasn't continued. It has 13 episodes that are planned, but I don't think it was ever updated on Crunchyroll. I don't know if something happened or not. I know I can now watch it over on Funimation now too. So,
what is Lord L.A. Moy? Is it actually related to the Fate series, or is it its own thing?
This is a connection to the Fate series. Yes.
Which timeline is it following?
Well, we can read the synopsis. When Lord El Malloy II, the later Waver Velt, gets asked to claim his inheritance over Ardor Castle, he travels there with his apprentice Gray to do so. But they are not the only ones called that way. Basically, you remember Waver from Fate Zero, right?
Yeah, okay.
This is a continuation of his story of what happened after it.
Gotcha.
All right. As an adult and a professor of the Magical Academy in London. That's also the reason.
That's a weird twist to take.
Yeah, it's not really anything to do, from what I know of the Grail Wars or anything. It's just more or less kind of like a mystery story, from what I can tell, that has some connections probably with the Grail, maybe, but
it sounds more like a standalone series that might have like small little connections, but nothing too serious.
Well, the biggest connection is the fact that it's Waver.
Yeah.
As an adult, and it's him investigating some strange occurrences and being a teacher at the Magic Academy.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, really, I mean, like, they could easily just not reference Fate at all.
Yeah, you could probably get away with it.
Yeah.
It is referenced a bit, but because it is Waver we're talking about, and it's him talking about. I don't really know if he really covered very much of his past. The one thing that is a little bit of a mystery that people, at least that some people have been curious about, is his apprentice Gray, because she looks very much like a saber. She's very reminiscent to Artoria and others, and they're wondering what that might mean. But I don't have any clue, because the first episode didn't really explain very much. except for that there's a mystery and people are trying to kill him. Aside from that, there wasn't much else going on that I remember anyway. It has been several months since I watched the first episode, so
that is fair. Yeah.
I also am interested to watch Dr. Stone. I should probably do that too.
I'm intrigued, but I'm not really sure if it's my type of anime or not. That's my concern with it. I mean, I know people who really like it. Some people have recommended it to me, so maybe I will give it a go, but like usually I seek out different things than that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've watched, or not watched, but I've read the manga up to about, I think, like chapter 15. It's a good series. I could definitely see why people really like it. I like the idea of taking mankind back to a primitive age while having someone who's basically the equivalent of a super genius trying to bring it back to the age that it was prior by using science, which is pretty cool. Science! I did like it, and the manga was pretty fun and enjoyable to read, so I don't mind it at all. Fire Force was also pretty fun.
I like the visuals of Fire Force, at least from what I've seen so far.
Oh yeah, the visual of it is amazing. I like the whole taking like fire uniforms and kind of giving them a little bit of kind of like a night motif going on.
Yeah.
With
not to mention, like there's a very rawness, very similar to that of Hiromashima's style.
Yeah.
The guy who made Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
That I really like about it. Like that really works with like action series that are like this right here, which is supposed to be very much in your face type of thing.
And I kind of have a feeling that, I don't know, whoever the creator of this is, or for the manga, I have a feeling that may have been some of his inspiration was from Fairy Tail, because the main character, he ignites things with his feet. With fire, and it makes me wonder, doesn't Natsu do that too?
He does it with more than just his feet, that's for sure.
Well, I know that, but this character specifically, as far as I can tell, he can only use his feet. Because people have pyrokinetic powers, and his is the ability to light stuff or use his feet as basically rocket boots, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Other ones, like one of the girls can conjure fire spirits, it seems. His rival can turn a sword to fire, but he concentrates it into like a plasma sword, which is pretty badass. He basically has a lightsaber.
Okay, so he has kind of like the Gambit thing where like he can ignite certain things.
In particular, he seems to only be able to ignite his sword. His sword is just, he has the ability to conjure the blade for the weapon, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Would be the best way to explain it.
Gotcha.
Which is pretty cool. And I just kind of like the whole spirit of the show. The first few episodes of the new recruits kind of learning how this particular station functions and operates. And, or what are they're like Section 9 or Section 8. It has a sense of, because one of the girls is a priest, and they do this whole prayer thing when they're executing these former humans turned monsters, or turned to fire monsters. So there's a sense of, I guess, spirituality with it too. But overall, it's been really interesting, and the main character's background and just a very interesting potential, like kind of a mystery of, because his mom and his I can't remember if it was a baby sister or a baby brother, were killed, and he was blamed for the fire. But he thinks that there was someone else there that may have caused the fire.
Oh no! Yeah, he's the Barry of the storyline.
And the funny thing, or the interesting thing, was considering that he has that kind of smile, kind of demon-esque kind of smiley face to him. When he gets nervous, he smiles, and it makes it look like he's like plotting something, like he's evil.
I know that.
And because of that, when he was a kid, he did that, and people thought that he had no remorse for the death of his family, so they called him a demon because of it. And I was like, oh, I kind of feel bad for the poor kid.
That's called a character quirk, people.
Yeah. Kind of like with Sagara's inability to not understand normal human function.
Yeah.
Was there other shows here that might be interesting? I don't know.
There's tons of I don't know. We've already mentioned a lot of anime as it is.
Yeah. Oh wait, this was one I watched. This one, Kyochiwaki Nobunaga.
Oh, okay.
It's the story of Nobunaga, but his younger years.
Oh, all right.
Historical drama. Definitely leaning more towards the shoujo side, definitely, with its style and choice of character design. But I'm not opposed to it. I actually was really enjoying it for the first few episodes that have come out. Considering that I do have a fascination and curiosity about Nobunaga and Japanese history, so not that I can follow everything that's happening, but it's definitely something that I would probably recommend. It's if you like history and whatnot, and you want to see a kind of romanticized historical history of Nobunaga, that might be something up someone's wheelhouse.
For sure. I mean, it doesn't seem like my type of thing, but I can definitely see like where a lot of people who are into that type of thing would definitely want to see it.
Yep.
Then Business Fish. No synopsis.
No synopsis. I don't even think you really need one when your title is just Business Fish.
I think it's just most likely a comedy series.
SD Gundam World is going on.
Yes, another SD Gundam series.
Yep, the Sengoku version,
Mhm.
where all the Gundams are based off feudal lords. I've never really been all that interested in that.
And then there's Warasho Warara, which it looks cute. Not really sure. This is probably like your uber cutie slice of life series for like little kids.
What, Where Show?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
So he
thinking.
goes for another planet to save the mistreated animals, planet Earth. Aw, that sounds adorable.
Yeah.
That might be something fun and cute to watch just for fun.
Probably. Then of course we have our continuing series, the ones that are continuing, the ones that have been always continuing, such as like, you know,
a series of short horror stories.
yeah.
Called Yami Shiba 7. Okay. Try Nights. What the? This is a sports one. I know that.
Trinites?
Yeah, it looks like a.
I don't think it's a sports series. It could be.
Oh, for a moment I thought it was. That's why I'm kind of reading it. Yeah, rugby. I'm playing rugby.
For sure. Yeah.
So rugby. Oh, so it's like the other one. There was another one.
Yeah.
It doesn't have an anime yet, but the manga came out for Shonen Jump. Beast Children, I believe. Yeah, Beast Children.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Which I read a couple chapters of. It was pretty fun, but I haven't read very much since then. I also read a little bit of Samurai 8. And what was that other one that's recently came out? Not Demon Slayer. Tokyo Shinobi Squad was another one that I read the first chapter of, which was pretty interesting.
There's also there's just quite a few series coming out this time around right now.
I don't know. For some reason, it seems like it's stacked, but for me, not really anything. I reading some of them, it doesn't sound like something I would like go hard in the paint to watch. Very many of these, I don't know. Private academy school located on the hills facing the ocean, specializing in boys idol training. Okay, well, if you need some husbandos, this sounds like it might be right up someone's alley.
Series that trains your idols to be sexy.
Well, it sounds like an academy where they train boys to be pop idols. That might be fun. I don't know.
If you're into that type of thing, yeah.
I know it might get some interest for some girls, that's for sure. Maybe some boys too, actually. I don't judge.
I mean, you gotta have your fan service, man.
Yep. Ugly humanoid yokai who fight justice. They live among humans and protect them from evil yokai. They find themselves ostracized from both humans and other yokai, but the three continue to fight in hopes of one day becoming humans themselves. Interesting.
All right, then.
I'm just trying to see ones that might be of interest to me. But I don't know. There was more interest for the spring season I saw than for this one. Maybe it's because there were some of them.
It's also one of those things where until you've seen some visuals from the series, you're not really intrigued. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it may require actually like sitting down and watching a show.
Yeah, because I like there's times I've like seen a synopsis and it's just terrible, and you're like, okay.
This one might be interesting. It's I think I saw a clip of it before, where he's a young adventurer, or something.
Okay.
Oh wait, maybe this was a different one. I don't know. I saw one where it's like people were working in a restaurant and there was a little girl helping and serving customers a bit and whatnot. And basically, it was like he was the dad almost, and I was like, oh, that looks cute and wholesome. I might watch that. Let's see. Composed, highly skilled adventurer who's made quite a name for himself despite his youth. One day on a job deep in the forest, he comes across a little devil girl who's almost wasted away. Unable to just leave her there to die, Dale takes her home and becomes her adopt. Oh, okay, so it is the one I was thinking.
Oh yeah, okay. I think I know from that. Yeah, that's the one where he thinks like where like it hints that she might be like the demon lord's daughter or something, but he adopts her and like treats her as his own or something.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like a cutesy series, but like every once in a while it hints at like a bigger kind of thing that might be happening down the line, kind of thing.
Yeah, that one looks interesting to me.
Yeah. I don't know if it's good or not. I have a few friends of mine who are really into the manga for it, so maybe.
Vinland Saga.
When do I get my anime adaptation of the Pokemon Adventure manga?
What, where Pokemon actually die and get murdered and decapitated?
Well, I mean, also like every season follows like a different protagonist, and
yeah,
and like we actually get like and it's the one that the actual directors behind Pokemon actually think is the best way to present Pokemon, but whatever.
Oh, okay. This one might be something I'd be interested in checking out.
Which one?
Vinland Saga. It's about Vikings.
Vikings doing
Vikings in anime? That's not something you see every day.
Actually, no, not really.
Not really. No, not something that I'm familiar with seeing like on a regular basis.
Yeah.
That might be something that I might actually get invested in and watch, because it's kind of similar to like the heroic legend of Arslan, which is kind of like a history piece and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the Nobunaga one too.
For 1,000 years, the Vikings have made quite a name and reputation for themselves as the strongest families with a thirst for violence.
Yep.
Thorfinn, the son of one of the Vikings' greatest warriors, spends his boyhood in a battlefield, enhancing his skills in his adventure to redeem his most desired revenge after his father was murdered.
Yeah, that sounds like something would be very interesting to watch.
Pretty much, it sounds like strongman anime.
No ladies allowed.
Yes. No, none.
I don't know. Ladies might find it interesting. What woman doesn't like burly men kicking the shit out of other burly men?
Exactly. I mean, it intrigues me. I don't know if I'd like a be mine type of thing. It sounds pretty much like a lot of fighting, a lot of like action. We'll see how it goes.
It's definitely something that would pique my interest.
Yeah.
I guess I could check the second season of Danmachi too. I watched season 1.
I love season 1. I'm looking forward to season 2. See where it goes, kind of thing.
That's more of a guilty pleasure show for me than anything else. It's not something that I proactively really love, but it is a fun show.
I mean, I'm intrigued to see where the story continues on from here. Like they hinted at some big things at the end of season 1, so I want to see where it goes. So also here's one that sounds interesting: Isekai Cheat Magician.
Yeah. You mentioned it earlier. You said that you had friends that have been reading the manga.
Yeah, like again, I'm reading the synopsis and I can see why my friends enjoy it. It sounds like pretty much like this is the Isekai about like a guy and his friend end up in a like him and a, I think it's a guy and a girl, and they end up like in an Isekai world type of thing, obviously. And then they find out like at first, of course, they're a little jostled, but later on they find out they possess like powerful magic. I guess that's where they're cheaters. I think the idea is like it calls into a factor of like the person who goes to an isekai is always like overpowered, and I think it's going to call into factor that aspect of the series.
Yeah,
and play with that a bit, and I kind of want to see it. Like if it does it right, it could be interesting. I can see why my friend might like it if it does do that. We'll see.
This one's something called Accelerator. Something about an Esper Academy. That one might be interesting. Don't know if it's something I would proactively watch, though. I don't know. I might.
You might not. We'll see what happens. You know, if enough votes come in, Nightwolf will make this an anime dedicated channel. He'll be the new. He'll overtake Mother's Basement and actually give like solid takes.
Do we want to talk about Mother's Basement and his hot takes? We could do that.
His hot takes. Oh, his terrible hot takes.
Yes,
God.
terrible hot takes. The last I saw from him, that because people were talking about it on Twitter, of him talking about the Gundam franchise, and it was just him hopelessly shilling Gundam the Origin on Crunchyroll. I'm like, dude, could you be any more blatantly obvious that you're just trying to get people to go to Crunchyroll? Okay, I don't need you telling me to go to Crunchyroll. I have a Crunchyroll account. I can go there whenever I want.
Also, like people will choose if they want to use a Crunchyroll account or not. Like, Jesus Christ, get over it.
Yeah, it's.
I know you have an affiliate link and you want people to use it so you get like affiliate money. I get it, but Jesus Christ, bro.
Crunchyroll sponsor my channel. I promise I will not shield nearly as hard as Mother's Basement.
Here's the thing, okay? Like,
affiliate.
I want to make an argument here. I feel like that's him having a Crunchyroll affiliate link. Like, I have nothing against people have a Crunchyroll affiliate link, but I feel like him having one it's a it's a problem.
Yeah,
because like that's kind of like because he reviews anime, right? So he used to tell you anime is good or bad, and so
in quotation reviews in quotation.
Okay, he gives commentary on anime. Is that better?
Yeah, kind of.
I don't know. Whatever words best.
I would say commentary because I don't really consider what he does reviews because he doesn't really do a whole lot of reviews. He'll like analyze the opening of shows, and that's the only claim to fame he really has.
That's fair. So like, and I feel like having a Crunchyroll like a Crunchyroll affiliate is a problem with that in mind because like now he has a connection to an anime translator group, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, okay, so like, and I'm gonna explain it to you this way. Let's say like the completionist, the guy who reviews video games, has a Crunchyroll affiliate link.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a compromise because he's not reviewing Crunchyroll or he's not reviewing anime. He's reviewing video games.
Yeah.
Right.
I see where you're going with it. For me, if you're going to have an affiliate link to something like that and whatnot,
yeah,
don't just shill shamelessly for your affiliate link, especially if you're in the anime community and you know there's other services out there. Like I'm trying to think. Arcada of Glass Reflections, he's had affiliate links to Crunchyroll before, but he still reviews and talks about shows that aren't on Crunchyroll. And he also never shamelessly just shills for it like Mother's Basement does, where it's like, please use that link. And it's more like he'll put it at the end of the video. It's like, you can watch it here if you want to.
Yeah, like, and this is kind of the problem that I have with these affiliate links. When it's something that you do the review for, you're going to shill. I feel like there's a chance for you to shill for it a bit more. There's a chance for you to also, and there's also a chance that like you're going to have them more in a higher regard for certain things because you don't want to piss them off. Where if your affiliate link is for something that's unrelated completely, you can still feel free to do what you want. So like, had he had a Dollar Shave Club affiliate link, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That would have been better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I see where you're going with it. I understand.
Yeah, because like
I know I'd never be affiliated with a company like Crunchyroll or anything to begin with.
Oh yeah, no.
None of them would sponsor a channel like mine because I actually am more critical of things and actually not a kiss ass.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, no, I'm calling out Mother's Basement for sure. Also, I also want to call him out on his Amazon hot take.
Oh boy, howdy.
I'm sorry, but like, fuck you. People will buy shit from wherever they want, okay? And Amazon, sure, okay, like, can their working conditions be better for the people that work for them? Sure, I'm not going to argue that it can't. But Jesus Christ, fuck you, man. Like, if Amazon pays their employees well enough, like, sure, if you want better working conditions, there are ways to do it. Like, let Amazon worry about it. Telling people to boycott Amazon, like, I'm sorry, fuck you.
Nope, that's also not going to happen.
Like, yeah, like you're not.
They're one of the biggest shipping companies in the world. They are for the most part have a monopoly on the entire system. You're not going to stop them.
Yeah, like if you want to create like a boycott for Amazon, don't just do it. Fucking like find an alternative first.
Yeah,
you have to find a reason like why the boycott can work. Oh well, you can just go to local business. Not everyone can do that, bud.
Yeah. In particular, his like Gundam the Origin video, it wasn't as bad as some of his other takes that he's had in the past. But it was still not good. In particular, his girlfriend playing the part of some sort of deranged Gundam fan pointing a gun to his head and forcing him to watch it. I'm like, I don't know a single Gundam fan that does that. I do not know any Gundam fans in the community of any kind that would say, no, you need to watch this, and if you don't, I will hurt you. It's stupid, and it's a bad joke. Well, and mainly that's the problem with it. It's just a really terribly made joke. And your thing is, go watch Gundam the Origin and Iron Blooded Orphans, and that's it. And I'm like, there are tons of Gundam shows out there to watch. Origin, and he was trying to make an argument for Gundam the Origin, and it was the stupidest argument. It's like, don't watch the original because it's old. And it's like, watch Gundam the Origin, even though it's not it's not the whole series. It's only the rise of the Red Comet. It's only Char's story. Amuro is in it, and there's a little bit of information on it, but I mean, the Gundam doesn't even exist in the show except for in passing because it's in development. It doesn't even exist yet. It's an origin story for Char, which in some cases kind of ruins a little bit of the mystery of the character, but most people already know his origin. So
here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's like calling it old is stupid because like I can easily defend it by saying, but it's a more fleshed out series. You get more of the character development.
And if the age of the series is what is stopping people, if that's the massive monumental Herculean hurdle you have to jump over, go watch the movie trilogy. The series was separated into 3 movies.
Yeah.
With better animation quality, better quality overall, more condensed story, and it still is considered one of the best movie trilogies that Gundam has ever made. If you need something of that nature, do that. Because you don't have to watch the 43 episode series if you don't want to. If you want to get the gist and the pretty much, it's not even the cliff notes, it's pretty much the entire show. They just cut out some of the unimportant stuff that was just like kind of one-off episodes that just weren't really that important to the plot.
Yeah.
And it's a movie trilogy, so it'll take you a quarter of the time to watch. It's only like I think it's about an hour, almost 2 hours each. So that's about, 6 hours?
Something like that.
And that's a lot shorter than watching the movies. And the quality of the animation is improved. Yeah. So, and the fact he doesn't even mention that the original had a movie trilogy that was re-released and was also what helped save Gundam to begin with.
Yeah.
Because when they did the movie trilogy, it helped propel it into popularity because the series itself didn't do that. It was toys, model kits, and the re-release of the original in film format is what made it popular and what saved it from pretty much being just a footnote in history. It's ridiculous to say that because it's old that people shouldn't watch it. Because you're not... And, there was another alternative option. If you want to read the story of the original Gundam franchise, go read Gundam the Origin manga. Because that is actually just the original story retold in manga format.
Yeah. I mean, like, you have options. That's the...
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're saying.
That's my biggest issue with this video is there are options of things that you can check out.
I feel like he was just shilling that one because... because he wanted, that was the... I don't know, maybe he was told to shill that one by Crunchyroll. Like, does Crunchyroll... do they have that Gundam series on it, or what? Yes,
they do. That's why he shilled so hard for Crunchyroll during the video. Gundam the Origin, the 13-episode OVA series is available for stream on their site. And I was already aware of that. And here's the thing. Gundam is... popular among mecha fans. And here's the thing. If you weren't interested in Gundam to begin with, you're probably not going to check it out just because someone else tells you, this particular show itself is really good.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested in the show, you're going to go and watch it, especially if someone convinces you that it's worth your time.
Also, I mean, I feel like there's better starter series to start with in Gundam anyway, if you're interested. Nothing against Origin or anything of that nature, but there's
The UC timeline is long, convoluted at times, and not exactly something I would recommend for beginners.
Yeah, like
I started with Gundam Wing
yeah.
because
I
that was
know a
what
lot
was
of
first aired in the States, actually. But
there's a lot of people who started with Gundam Wing. Like,
Gundam
there's a lot of
Wing,
people who started with Seed.
Gundam 00, G
Yeah.
Gundam,
Like, there's a
Iron Blooded Orphans.
yeah, like it's there are better ones to start off with that I would recommend over this. Hell, there's the Gundam, there's the original Gundam series that they did a movie that actually just goes through like the key points of the series and gets rid of all the filler. That's about like 2 hours.
Yeah,
that's even better to start off with.
yeah. There's if you're not, because the one thing people get daunted by, I think, for Gundam is like the different timelines and also the UC timeline specifically.
Yeah.
Because one, it's age. Two, how long it is. It's like if you're, my recommendation would be either if you're interested in the UC timeline and you kind of want to see what it's like, I would recommend watching one of the OVA series, which there are quite a few of that you could pick from. There's Stardust Memory, there's War in the Pocket, there's 8th MS Team, just to name a few, and those are the three I would recommend if you're going.
Actually, I think it's like there's even like watch order lists online too and stuff like that. Like
you can watch them in chronological order by timeline, or if you're like me and you just want to start somewhere, just start with what looks interesting and go from there.
Yeah, like
my one recommendation is probably don't watch Zeta Gundam or Double Zeta Gundam. Not because they're not good, but because you probably won't understand what the hell is going on.
my mine is don't watch Seed, specifically Seed Destiny.
Yes, avoid Seed Destiny like it is a plague. And for that matter, you could also avoid Gundam Wing, because actually it's not all that great either. It has its problems too. Similar problems.
I mean, like
Gundam Wing normally gets a pass because of the rabid fan base of Western audience that really loves the series. But even I'm fully aware of it, all of its flaws. Its overly talkative nature with the politics, which sometimes goes over everybody's heads. It's like, what the hell is going on, and why are we talking about this? Where am I giant robot fighting? Don't get me wrong. The politics and ideologies in Gundam is what's the most interesting part, but Gundam Wing went like full blown into that, where almost entire episodes were dedicated to talking about it.
If you need to watch Gundam Wing, just watch Endless Waltz and leave it at that.
Yeah, Endless Waltz is a pretty decent starting point. But I mean, you can watch Gundam Wing. It just has problems. It has recycled animation like Gundam Seed. Characters are.
I stick by that. I stick by the fact. Just watch Endless Waltz. Don't watch Gundam Wing the entirety. Just Endless Waltz. Leave it at that, and there you go.
Yeah, and also the characters for Gundam Wing are not really that great either.
Like,
a lot of them are
pretty.
They look. It's like you get handsome boys piloting giant robots. If you want a boy band, you got it. But depth of character, not so much.
Yeah, no.
The only one who had any form of depth is the one that normally everybody hates, and that would be Wu Fei. He's the only one who actually has character development. Him and I think Duo, the only two that really get character development. I guess a little bit of Ketchum.
Actually good.
Duo is just a fun character to have around. He's probably my favorite character next to Troa, although Troa is not the most engaging or interesting character, but for some reason when I was younger I liked him. And so I have a nostalgic connection with him.
That's fair. He had the
of course, Heavy Arms was probably my favorite Gundam for the series.
Also, I mean, the SD Gundam series are just fun to watch. The great thing with the SD Gundam series is it doesn't take itself seriously.
No, it doesn't.
And so you can easily jump in, watch it, have a good time.
I mean, if people want to have a nice, good balance of what the Gundam franchise is like and how good it can be, without its connection to any other form of timeline and whatnot, watch Gundam 00. In my opinion, it's probably the best one out of all of the alternate ones. Even in season 2, even though it kind of dropped the ball a bit, it's still really solidly made, and I basically consider it Gundam Wing, but done the way it should have been done the first time. Just significantly better.
Fair enough.
storytelling.
Fair enough.
And better
I mean, I'll admit my nostalgia connection to Gundam Wing. I mean, it was the first one I've ever watched as a kid.
Yeah.
But again, I'm more than willing to admit it's a messy show. It does not hold up well.
Yep.
It does have its problems, and
I think the only character that
the only thing I would say that holds up for Gundam Wing, and you may disagree with me, is the music.
oh yeah, music was really good.
Like it had fantastic music.
Music and mech design still hold up really, really well.
I prefer the custom designs to the ones that were used in the main series, because
I'm kind of polar opposite on that end. Mainly because the Endless Waltz versions, especially the ones that were for the film version, the customs at the end, suck in some cases, with the exception being ones like Wu Fei's and Death Scythe Hell. Those are the only two.
My favorite in that one.
Death Scythe Hell is basically like taking the best elements of Death Scythe and really owning up to the fact that it's called Death Scythe.
But I also love the angel wings on the Wing Zero custom.
I don't. I actually find those gaudy and unnecessary.
Fair enough.
I mean, it has a practical use. Initially, when I was younger, I didn't know it had a practical use.
Yeah.
Because Wing Zero had a shield at one point. Now it doesn't have a shield. What's it going to use to defend itself? Apparently, the wings are the shield now.
Wings are the shield, but not like there's also like the aspect of like the Wing Zero Gundam and Hero Iv'e were supposed to be like the aspect of, well, they're the heroes, they're the god, they're the light kind of scenario. Like that's the aspect of what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
With the symbolism.
Yeah.
I get it. Like for some people who don't like it, I understand it though for the symbolism aspect, and I think that's why I enjoyed it.
Well, the symbolism is fine, but the Wing Zero custom is one of the most overrated suits I've ever seen on film for Gundam.
There is a really good Wing Zero custom XL, I think it was called, or something like that.
The other Wing Zero custom that I can remember was basically, it's the Endless Waltz Wing Zero custom, but it's the original Wing Zero, just customized and made to be more updated.
Yeah, like it's an updated version of the Wing Zero custom from
the first show.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm thinking of. There's also a Wing Gundam though.
There's somebody who did like a custom build, which is a Wing Zero custom that has the shield and still has the jet form, but has the wings.
That would look ridiculous and weird.
It was actually really cool.
I don't know why anybody would still keep the wings on it if it's going to keep its jet flight mode.
I thought it looked really cool.
I mean, it's the bird form for Wing Zero, and in particular for most of the Gundams that have the ability to change. Sometimes it ends up looking really, really bad. In particularly with Wing and Wing Zero, it does not look good. It looks kind of weird and tacked on and unnecessary. I mean, it works in the sense of, hey, I can fly really fast and get to Earth on my own. Yeah, fine, peachy keen, but the legs are too overly exposed and due to kind of the more curved nature of the wingsuits designs, it looks more like a robot holding on to like a jetpack or a flight pack thing, and it looks a little funky. But
that's fair. I mean, like I'm just pointing out, like the remake version looked cool. I can't find it right now.
The remade version. Hold on a second. Maybe I can find it. Wing Zero custom. Maybe it will show up. Images. No, those are the original from Endless Waltz. What is it called? I wish I could remember what it was called. Oh, custom. Master grade. I'm not finding it. Hold on. Hold on. Wing Gundam.
I mean, there's so many different versions of the Wing Gundam.
Yeah. Wing Gundam custom. No, just Wing Gundam. Oh wait, hold on. That's what I should do. Wing Gundam. EW. Master grade. Okay. I think I may have found one of the suits. Hold on a second. I'll screen share so then you can tell me if I'm warm or cold. I'm probably cold, but crap. This is the Endless Waltz version of Wing Gundam.
Yeah, I know the Endless Waltz version also.
So it was basically this version of the Wing Zero. This is they're showing Wing Zero here.
Yeah, like I like. Okay, I always like that version of Wing Zero with the jet turbines in the back. Anyway.
Yeah, that's the one I prefer. I really did not like the fact that they gave it angel wings. It, like I said, kind of makes it look a bit gaudy and unnecessary.
I like it, but I mean, again, that could be just my nostalgia.
It's one of those weird things. It's like where you take something that's something that would be for a more organic type of suit design and putting it into a more. It's a weird mashup for me. It's like if the suit was more of an organic type of robot, I'd understand, but it's not. So it's a little weird to have. It's one thing to have the wings. It's another thing entirely the fact that they float and move like actual angel wings. And I'm like, how? What?
I mean, that's fair.
Aside from symbolism and making it look fancy, I don't understand it. It's one of those.
That's the. There was this version I know that came out, the Endless Waltz remake version, which used the turbines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, this is Wing Gundam Zero, Endless Waltz. Sorry, AliExpress, I'm not interested right now.
Oh, but AliExpress wants you
No.
to buy Chinese products.
No, I don't want to buy Chinese knockoffs.
That's an actual master grade, though. That's an actual like.
Yeah, it is. I can tell.
The jet mode in that one actually doesn't look too bad.
There are certain times when certain Gundam suits get more overhyped than others. Gundam 00 had the same problem with its movie, with Awakening of the Trailblazer, because the 00 Quanta only shows up for like almost about the same length of time as the Wing Zero custom. And it's like they show, but here's the thing: at least with the Quanta, it actually did things. All that Hiro Yui did with the Wing Zero custom is a slight sword skirmish with Wu Fei and shooting the Buster Rifle a few times. That's
I'm not denying like that's like he definitely that's all he did. My point of view was more along the lines of
Oh, you're free to like the design if you want. A lot of people do. My brother loves it too.
Yeah,
I'm just one of those people who was like, no.
And that's fine. Like, I mean, I'm not going to try to force you to like the design. I like the design. I think I like it just for the symbolism's sake, especially with the symbolism of like the movie itself. Of like, what is good, what is evil, and like Hiro being the supposed like person he's the one who's supposed to be like who gives the final blow to the character. And there's just like a level of symbolism. Again, the movie's not good. The movie's not great. Like the movie's terrible. Like I've gone back to rewatch it. It's not great.
Yep. And actually this happened with more than just one of the suits. A lot of the suits ended up being significantly nerfed in comparison. Like Heavy Arms here. I mean, I love this design. I love the whole thing of like having 2 Gatling guns. It looks badass and all, but he got rid of his combat knife. What happens when he runs out of ammo? Because unlike some of the other Gundams that can, recharge their rifles or can reload, he needs to restock everything. He has no melee combat option.
So the Heavy Arms custom, I like the design of the Heavy Arms custom.
I love it. I love the colors. I love the way it looks. The problem is that you got rid of the combat knife and the shield.
Mm-hmm.
You added more artillery, but what happened? Because even in the movie, he runs out of artillery and he can't do anything.
Like, so
I mean, everybody ran out of energy, but he ran out of artillery. I think he was the first one to lose everything.
So my thing is, like, I think there's a way you could have taken the heavy arms custom and made it better, and like added something for when he runs out of artillery. So like maybe added, like, I think what should have been is he should have had 2 combat knives, one on each arm, so that he can drop the guns and then go combat knife mode, and then and you could have added an energy shield or something to, like, that comes up to, like, protect him while he's doing that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just something to be like, yeah, okay, well, like, if he runs out of artillery, because I can understand having the 2 Gatling guns. It just makes sense that he would upgrade that at one point to have 2 Gatling guns to then be more, to do more of a spray on battle anyway.
Yeah. It makes sense considering it's an artillery suit. It just doesn't make any sense to remove a defensive shield, and 2, a combat knife that he's able to use rather effectively to get in case of an emergency.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not like he was going to go full melee combat on anybody anyway to begin with, but to have the option there is always appreciated.
Yeah, like, because I'm not saying like he's going to be perfected in melee, but like you need to keep him. He needs that defense to still be there.
Yeah.
I know there's like an upgraded version of it that has like a railgun as well.
I think this is the one you're referring to. This is the Gundam Heavy Arms Endless Waltz
Supernova version, I think it's called, or something, right?
No, it's called the Endless Waltz version. Basically, the movie had an Endless Waltz version of the Heavy Arms.
Yes.
But it has like a giant Gatling gun instead of the twin Gatling gun that it had originally from the original design. Yes. It just has one big, massive Gatling gun with a huge drum behind it.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And he still has the combat knife and all that stuff included.
Yeah, like that one was cool. Anyway, I think we've been going for a while now. Holy crap.
We have been going for a while, and no one's been in chat, and I've just been talking about stuff. Right now, I'm just having fun chatting about Gundam designs, so...
Yeah, no worries. Oh,
I think Gundam...
Yeah. Yes, I'll close them. Alright, sorry about that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gundam Shenlong was probably one of the better looking ones.
That one was... That one actually, yeah, the Shenlong Gundam had a really cool design.
And in particular, Wu Fei's version for the movie, the Nataku.
Yes.
Or whatever they call it. I've always gotten confused when it comes to the names and whatnot. I kind of like the twin dragon arm thing it's got going.
You're talking about that's the Ultron.
Yeah, it's called the Ultron, but in the English dub they called it Nataku, Gundam Nataku.
Yes.
And that's the reason why I've always called it Gundam Nataku instead of the Ultron Gundam, because
the custom version of the Ultron was really cool. I liked it because the custom version, if I remember correctly, kept his hands free.
Yeah.
And like had the snakes kind of like coming off the sides. Yeah. So
right.
Like which means that like if he needs to prepare something else for when the snakes couldn't do whatever they needed him to do, that he could prepare and then get ready for like that. Whether like it means preparing his blade or something.
Yeah, I think that, like I said, Gundam 00 I think did it better, and the actual progression of a lot of the suits and whatnot actually made a lot more sense.
I mean, I'll agree with you. I never watched Gundam 00, so I don't have any opinion on it. But like, I'll definitely agree with you. I like the designs in Gundam 00; they look cool.
I would recommend at least trying out the season 1. If you have a form of, if you like the kind of how the story was told for Gundam Wing, it might be a bit nostalgic for you because it's very similar in a lot of ways, except for the fact that what are they called? Celestial Being is the name of the group of pilots who pilot the Gundams.
Mm-hmm.
But the objective is to end all conflict and all war through armed intervention. Sound vaguely familiar? It sounds familiar, and it's a team of what, 4?
Yeah.
Although I think Gundam Wing had a team of 5.
It did,
but
Gundam Wing had 5. This one looks like it has 4.
Yeah, it's about 4. Wait, no, 1, 2. Let's see, Setsuna, Lock On, Tieria. Yeah, That's 4. And Hallelujah. I like the way that they handled the story for it. It's gave they did a lot better job with the characters. Where it's like, oh hey, they all look like pretty boys, but it's not a boy band really this time because they actually have personalities for once. Because that was the biggest contention I had with Wings characters. A lot of them just don't have Hero Yui and Troa are just they're blank. They don't have personalities at all. Troa at least has an excuse. He has no memory, but Hiro Yui, he's a robot for the sake of being a robot. And also, kind of also marries a Mary Sue in a lot of rights, much like Kira Yamato. Considering that he's survived things that he shouldn't have survived, like him blowing up Wing Gundam. And he was supposed to execute himself when he did that, and managed to survive. How? Nobody knows. I was pretty stupid, though.
It's called plot. Thank you very much.
It's called plot armor, to be specific.
The plot required him to be alive because he's the main character, and he's supposed to be there so that he can face my look-alike of what's his of
Char?
Yeah.
Char or Miliardo?
Yeah. Like Jesus.
Miliardo is probably my favorite character from the whole series, actually. Because he has the most character development out of anybody.
He does actually have the most character development.
Yeah, he goes from wanting to, reclaim his family and reclaim his honor to psychopath. Yeah. And then back to trying to just be a person who helps people. It's like strange turn of events that. But
to then becoming like a weird dictator type character, it was weird.
Yeah, he went from trying to trying to at least regain his family and whatnot to going genocidal for some reason, and then backpedaling off of that when you watch the Endless Waltz movie. He's not genocidal anymore. It's like, what was that? Lapse in judgment? Did someone possess your mind? Did you get brainwashed? What's happening, man? It's an odd 1080 to take, but still pretty fun. I always like the Tall Geese, so I'm not going to complain.
Oh, the Tall Geese is great. The Tall Geese 3, or Tall Geese Custom, or whatever they want to call the damn thing.
It's called the Tall Geese 3, specifically. Yeah. Tall Geese 1, Tall Geese 2, and Tall Geese 3.
Yeah.
3 is the best looking one out of all of them.
3 is the best. And then, of course, I always find it funny, though, like Zach, when he's in his Zach's impression, or whatever you want to call it.
Zex?
Yeah, Zex, sorry.
The other antagonist for the show?
Yeah.
That wasn't Miliardo. Zex is his own. Oh, wait, no. Zex is his own. I'm thinking of the other guy, Trace Cushionada. I was thinking Trace. I got them confused. No, Trace was the one who piloted Tall Geese.
Zex is what he calls himself when he has the masks on.
Yeah, Zex Marquise. Yeah. Interesting personality choice.
Well, it's funny because like Zex just kind of reminds me of Char from.
But that was the point. They do that a lot in Gundam. They always have a protagonist with a mask or an antagonist with a mask on.
Yeah.
Almost all the time. Every single one of them has their own rendition of a antagonist. Gundam Seed did it. Hell, they did it twice. First one, really good. Second one, terrible. It's called a Char clone for a reason. They've had it for decades.
Oh no, I agree with you. The Char clone's been around for a while. It's just like this was just one that was like really, really blatant because like it was like the theme was even very much the same as Char.
Yeah, they took a lot of notes from Char's origin with that one. The whole losing of his family,
like the red suit.
Most of them wear red anyway, or wear some.
His suit is very simple.
Yeah, actually, when I look at his suit in comparison to Char's, I see more European influence in his.
I guess so, yeah.
The military jacket and one that looks like it's more like Victorian European look. I mean, Char's kind of looks a little bit European, but not as much because it's actually mainly just a red jumpsuit with like some fancy ornaments on the shoulders and chest, and everything else is just kind of standard issue military equipment.
Fair enough.
With his helmet, um, but they always kind of take that whole Char clone thing and they use it in some form. His is kind of a bit more of a, yeah, his is pretty rip-offish of the original, especially with his background and story, lost family members, family dead, being part of a royal lineage. Yeah, now that I'm saying it out loud, he's definitely a little bit more of a copycat.
Just a little bit more.
A little bit more copycat than some of the others, because even what the heck was his name for Gundam Seed? The first, damn it. I'm trying to.
We'll have a team of all the Char clones.
I'm trying to remember the Char clone from Gundam Seed. Damn it! I'm trying to. The one who wore the mask. Char clone Gundam Seed. I guess someone will have to type it in. Char clone. Seed. Char clone Gundam Seed. Well, I've seen the images of him. Howl le Creuset, that's his name. Howl le Creuset. I liked him. He was probably one of the only characters in Gundam Seed that I actually liked. Just because he was such a magnificent douchebag. Of course, that's just... Yeah, you can see his image right here. Mm-hmm. Howl le Creuset. He had that such douchebaggy nature to him, but he was so cocky and arrogant. Mm. People have mentioned the parts that were their favorite parts of his character, and I actually agree with the two moments. Like that one girl who what was her name? Her name was Felt, I think, or that one girl who wanted Kira to kill everybody and was crazy. Don't put your dick in crazy, kids. Don't follow Kira's example. But she was like tried to put a gun to his head and threaten him, and he's like, "Oh, that's really cute. You think that you can kill me? Go right ahead. Shoot me. Go right ahead. Do you think you're gonna survive very long once they realize that you killed me?" Basically, he's like, "Oh, I know you want to shoot me, but you're not going to, because if you do, you're probably dead too."
Yeah.
Or his other one when he was I'm trying to remember the name of the main female character for Gundam Seed. Lacus.
Oh,
where he's threatening Lacus and he's threatening to kill her. He was gonna like gun down the ship, and he's like, "It's really quite a shame. I did love your but the world is not the same of that in pop songs." And I'm like, yes, that's true. It's not the same. And that was just like the douchiest thing he could say, and I loved him for it. Of course,
Gundam Lacus clone and Seed Destiny. Jesus fuck, that was annoying.
Actually, she's a better character than Lacus is, at least. Which isn't saying much, but
she's a better character because she has more depth, but she sucks because it just feels
unnecessary.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like they just didn't really do anything with it more than anything else.
Yeah. Of course, Gundam Seed and Seed Destiny ended up having 3 Char clones anyway. Because this is a Char clone too. He's a Quattro clone. Char as a good guy. And then also Atherin, Kira's best friend and opponent for most of the series. Yeah, they were both Char clones. Just didn't wear the mask. Oh, well, with the exception of being this guy, because he ended up being a Char clone too. He became Neo Roanoke, even though he shouldn't even be alive. Wait,
we came up with a stupid reason. We edited the scene in the last episode.
They didn't even explain his reason for survival. That
Oh.
was the most annoying part about the whole thing was his character died by taking a goddamn Lohengrin cannon laser from a ship to the face.
You know what's funny? It actually cheapens his sacrifice at the end of this season.
Yeah, it does. It not only does it cheapen it, it makes no goddamn sense.
Hmm.
The strike Gundam was completely and utterly demolished. There was nothing left. There wasn't even something to bury. How the hell is he alive? Oh, just random bullshit reason. We're never going to explain it. But nope, here he is. He's alive and well. And the only thing he got out of it was a scar on his face. Oh, well. Then it's completely fine. It's not like Commander Wolfeld lost a goddamn arm and an eyeball when he died or died and then came back.
You're questioning too much.
I know.
Stop.
It's Gundam Seed. We're not supposed to question. We're just supposed to believe.
Just enjoy the pretty lights.
Yep.
Anyway,
I preferred the Char clone for Gundam 00. Of course, granted, I preferred him more in season 1 than I did in season 2. Because season 2 kind of butchered his character a bit.
I feel like just any Gundam series should only have one season.
That would be preferred.
Because I don't know. I feel like they just kind of lose ideas after season 2 usually anyway. And,
yeah.
Like, not to mention that, with like one season, it gives you more. Even if you need like a 1 year break or a 2 year break after like that one season, take it so that way you have more time to do ideas for like the next series.
Right.
And maybe I'm like overthinking it. I don't know, but like I feel like that would just be better anyway.
Sometimes the second season works out in the show's favor, and sometimes it doesn't. It depends on the show. Like Zeta Gundam is completely fine all the way through. It's 50 episodes and it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much throughout the entire show, and probably one of my favorite Gundam shows. I think Double Zeta Gundam ended up getting better as time progressed, because when it starts out, it makes no goddamn sense.
Yeah.
But once it reaches its second half, it actually starts getting better. I haven't really watched Victory, so I can't comment on that. Gundam Wing, I guess, kind of was pretty decent all the way through, and it had 50 episodes. CNC Destiny, no, they were terrible. Gundam 00 second season isn't as good as season 1, but it's still really good overall. It just was taking the show in a different direction. It took the show from the armed intervention and the entire purpose and reason for the existence of Celestial Being, which I'm not going to spoil, its entire meaning and for existence. And then it's like, okay, so now where do we take it from here? Now things have actually gotten worse, not better. And it also started diving into the territory of kind of the whole new type thing, but they call them innovators in Gundam 00, and they started to explore that idea a bit more. Mm-hmm. And then with the movie, they decided to explore the idea of aliens existing in the world. I was like, okay, you jumped the shark on that one. I was on board for everything else until you did that. Because it doesn't make any damn sense after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a thing that happens, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should probably close out, huh?
Probably. We've been going for like almost 4 hours now, I think.
Yeah.
Wait. Have we been for 3.5 hours according to this? It actually might like end up being 4 when it actually processes. So
4 hours.
4 hours. You know, calling you out, Mahler. We can do long streams too, buddy. Come on, Mahler. Just call. Like it makes no sense. Like we said nothing that like competes with Mahler whatsoever. Like
no.
Like fight me, Mahler. I don't know.
I don't know either. It's like I would rather fight Mother's Basement because I think I have a better chance of winning.
Fight me, Mother's Basement. Mother's Basement would never come on a stream with us. We know this.
He would never go on a stream with anybody. He doesn't like to be challenged.
No, he doesn't. Like with Mauler, at least you have a chance because Mauler like speak with anybody. He doesn't fucking care.
Yeah,
that's probably one of the best things about Mauler. It like the worst case scenario is like he'll invite you over and you guys will make fun of some stupid meme shit you found online together.
Memes.
Lame memes. Like you'll find some weird guy who said like this thing was trash. Like hating on Star Wars. What's wrong with you? And then like you guys will like comment on it together, and you'll be like, yeah, that guy was an idiot.
Yep. Anyway, for anybody who is still here, which is probably just me and Switchpoint at this juncture, I'm guessing.
We've lost our audience.
We've lost the audience. We've been talking, and we lost the audience, and it's sad. And I'm depressed.
They told us to move on without them.
Go on, guys, keep going. We'll be there in spirits.
You know, like the ending of like a manga where the ending of like a Sentai where the guy's like the half broken helmet, he's fighting the final boss, and then he's like, ah! Like we're at that moment.
Yeah, pretty much. So thanks everybody for watching. If anyone is watching the stream after it has concluded already, thank you for watching it. Hit the like button. It would help out a lot. It's the only form of engagement that seems to matter. That and comments.
I mean, you always download and put it up on BitChute so you get more views there. I
highly doubt that anybody on BitChute is going to watch a 4-hour-long stream. I would be shocked and surprised if anybody would. I'm amazed if any. I think that I get at least one person who always watches the streams after the fact. Charizard Trainer Red always he'll comment after a stream is over and whatnot. So I know I have at least one consistent viewer who comes back and watches the stream after it's done and over, which I appreciate. Thank you for that. Please leave a comment if you're here after the fact. I'll try and work on some other projects and stuff, hopefully. At some point, I've got some other stuff that I need to work on. Go and watch the previous video. Go watch my Kamen Rider first impression video for Kamen Rider build. I would appreciate the views and the support for that, because dear Lord, does nobody watch that? The last video that did really well was me rolling on Fate Grand Order for Sherlock Holmes. It's the last time I actually got any type of viewership, which is oof. Of course, I expected as much. But yeah, I'll hope to see everybody around for the next stream or next video, whatever I decide to do. I'll see you. We'll see you next time, folks.
We will.
Yep.